Chapter 424. The moment Teacher Wen sent this, Qin Yu's message popped up again. Qin Yu said thank you to me just now. Qin Lang, you don't have to thank me if you're close, understand? Grin, Qin Yu. She even called me second brother, instantly. The entire group fell silent. Teacher Wen, who had been watching the screen, also felt his eyelids twitch. He did not expect the Qin family to be so obsessed with their sister. Could Bei Yunji's second brother be exchanged for gold? Did he have to show it off? Just as Teacher Wen felt that it was ridiculous, the atmosphere in the group became even worse. Qin Lang, smile, 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 smile. Qin Yu, red packet, congratulations. Qin Yu, red packet, congratulations. Qin Yu, red packet, congratulations. This rain of red packets made Qin Lang, who was sitting in the club, so angry that he almost fumed. He knew that this B** starred was up to no good. He said that he had an event today and could not return to the old mansion to make him lower his guard. In the end, he went to look for Gu behind his back. Was there anything more inhumane than Qin Yu? Brother Lang, what's wrong? A member of the club beside him asked carefully. I'm fine. Taking a deep breath, Qin Lang slammed his phone on the table and continued training. This scene caused the surrounding members to be confused and frightened. The small group was also asking. Member 1, what's wrong with Brother Lang? Is his ex-girlfriend pregnant? Member 2, stop talking nonsense. Brother Lang is a virgin. Where did his ex-girlfriend come from? Member 1, then look at his expression. It looks like his girlfriend was stolen. What's going on? Member 3, have you forgotten that other than girlfriends, there's another creature that can turn a homebody into a fighter? Member 3, biological sister. Brother Lang's biological sister. Member 1. The truth is out. Last time, I saw that Brother Lang's sister was very pretty online and wanted to contact her. In the end, Brother Lang made me clean the toilet for half a month and said that he wanted me to wake up. Member 2, +1. Biological sisters might not be treasured by others, but those who look like little fairies definitely will. I wonder if Brother Lang's sister will come for the friendly match. Member 3, don't let your imagination run wild. If you take one more look at Brother Lang's sister, Brother Lang will let you cut the queue and reincarnate. After sending Director Lin back, Qin Yu drove Bei Yunj back to Huashidu's place to get her luggage. Miss Pei, this is... Auntie Miao had just finished cooking. The moment she came out, she saw Qin Yu helping Bei Yunj bring her luggage home. I went home to accompany my grandfather. Upon hearing Bei Yunj's words, Auntie Miao's eyes were filled with reluctance. Is Miss Pei coming back? How can I trouble Master Du to take care of my gu? Qin Yu smiled. Is the eldest young lady of our Qin family. Of course we will take good care of her. Aunt Miao, take good care of yourself too. I'm done tidying up. Bei Yunj was holding a notebook, and the rest were placed in the box. The other things were not brought by her either. He didn't take it away. Aren't you going to have a meal before leaving? Auntie Miao looked like her daughter was about to leave, her expression full of reluctance. No need. The old mansion has already prepared dinner. The old master is waiting for Gur at home. With that said with a smile, Qin Yu thanked Auntie Miao. Seeing how reluctant Auntie Miao was to part with her, he could tell that Auntie Miao must have taken good care of Gur usually. Seeing this, Auntie Miao stopped trying to dissuade him and could only watch helplessly as Qin Yu drove back to the old mansion. P.S. Be good and remember to vote. Chapter 425. About half an hour later, Huashidu returned, only to find that Auntie Miao had just heated up dinner in the living room. Mr. Hui, you're back. Coincidentally, the food is hot. Auntie Miao smiled. Where's Yun Yun? Huashidu's well-defined hands pulled off his tie casually. Then, he looked down and unbuttoned his sleeves. Miss Pei returned to the old mansion today. Did you forget? Auntie Miao was stunned for a moment before she answered. Hearing Auntie Miao say this, Huashidu finally remembered that old Master Qin had asked him to tell Yun Yun last time. He would let Yun Yun stay at the old mansion for a week or two first. After old Master Qin's birthday banquet, he would fetch Yun Yun back. After Huashidu regained his senses, he said, Yun Yun has been staying at the Qin family's old mansion for the past 2 weeks. Auntie Miao, you can rest for a while. 2 weeks? From what second young Master Qin said, Miss Pei doesn't seem to be coming back. Auntie Miao muttered softly. These words made Huashidu, who was about to go upstairs, stop in his tracks. Not coming back? Huashidu's low and calm voice was a little ambiguous. Who said that? Second young Master Qin. Miss Pei stood at the side and didn't say anything. She probably thinks so. Auntie Miao said straightforwardly. Hearing this, Huashidu's cold fingers rubbed against hers slowly. After a while, he walked up again. Alright, I got it. Mr. Hua, your dinner, I'll eat later. Hearing this, Auntie Miao could not help but have a headache. In the past, when Miss Pei was not around, Mr. Hua had never allowed her to eat and did not cherish her health at all. However, after Miss Pei came, Mr. Hua started to change. At least, he would eat on time every day. But now, Auntie Miao saw that Mr. Hua had not changed at all. He was only willing to eat with Miss Pei every day. In the Qin family's old mansion. Grandpa, why don't you call Qin Yu to hurry him up? Is Qin Yu doing this on purpose? Do you want him to stay with Gu alone? Suppressing his temper, Qin Lang walked to old Master Qin. Old Master Qin's eyelid twitched. Gu still has to go to Shidu. How can she be so fast? That's true, but Qin Yu isn't a good person. Qin Lang could not help but mutter. The corners of old Master Qin's mouth twitched. He looked at his anxious grandson and then at his eldest grandson, who was sitting on the sofa and working. Are you good people? Don't you know how many times you've come to the old mansion when Gur isn't around? Now, she was in a hurry to live in the old house. Not long after, there was a sound at the door. Old Master Qin and the rest looked up and saw Qin Yu smiling with a beautiful girl beside him. It was their Gu. Bei Yunj didn't say much along the way. When she looked up and saw old Master Qin, she smiled. Grandpa. What's wrong, Gu? Why do I feel like you're unhappy? Old Master Qin reached out to touch Bei Yunj's head and deliberately teased her. You don't like living with me? How could this be? Bei Yunj smiled. When she turned around, she realized that Qin Lang and Qin Luyen were both there. Seeing that old Master Qin was staring at her, Bei Yunj narrowed her eyes and said, Big brother, third brother. The moment she finished speaking, Qin Luyen and Qin Lang were also stunned. The atmosphere inexplicably fell into a chill. Was Gu willing to call them that just now? Suddenly, Qin Lang understood why Qin Yu had sent so many red packets just because she called him second brother. Chapter 426. Qin Luyen did not seem to be affected. He responded calmly and sat on the sofa. Qin Lang's heart was beating wildly and he could not suppress the corners of his lips. Gu, do you want to take a look at your room first? I'll go alone. With that said, Qin Yu had already taken the initiative to carry Bei Yunj's luggage upstairs. Seeing this, Bei Yunj could not say anything else and only followed Qin Yu upstairs. Qin Lang, who was trying his best to suppress his emotions, sat on the sofa and could not help but take out his phone. He scrolled through his WeChat moments and liked them crazily. At the same time, it attracted the doubts of his WeChat moments. Brother Lang, did your account get hacked? Brother Lang, why are you liking our opponent's player? The coach has already gone to get the knife. Sige Brother Lang, don't scare me. I just heard 2 days ago that you don't like women. Now you're liking my WeChat moments? No way, no way? Dog Qin, are you crazy? I was King hit by a car. Why are you liking it? Qin Lang was in a good mood. He ignored those people who were spewing nonsense and flipped through the list happily. However, he also noticed with his sharp eyes that Qin Luyen kept sending red packets in the Qin Corporation's management group. Qin Lang looked up at Qin Luyen, who had a cold and composed expression. He was indeed different on the inside. Upstairs. The moment Bei Yunj pushed open the door, she saw a pink decoration. What's wrong, Gu? Why are you standing there? Do you like it a lot? Second brother and your third brother specially arranged it. After Qin Yu put Bei Yunj's luggage in, he said happily. This was the pink princess room that he and Qin Lang had spent a lot of effort to design. Bei Yunj was speechless. Although she did not hate pink, it was difficult for her to fall asleep with such a strong visual impact. Bei Yunj thought for a moment and asked tactfully, "Are there any other rooms?" "What's wrong? Ger doesn't like it?" Qin Yu asked instinctively, staring at her unblinkingly. Bei Yunj's eyes flashed. "I'm fine. You rest first. When it's time for dinner, I'll call you upstairs." "All right." After watching Qin Yu go downstairs, Bei Yunj walked to the other side of the long corridor. She pushed open the door of the guest room. After making sure that no one was staying, she put her things in. However, Bei Yunj did not notice that the guest room seemed to have just been cleaned. That night, Bei Yunj accompanied Old Master Qin for dinner. Other than Old Master Qin, there were also Qin Luyan and the other two at home. It looked very lively. But for some reason, Bei Yunj still felt a sense of loss. Is the food at home not to your liking? Why do you seem to be eating so little?" Old Master Qin asked worriedly. After Bei Yunj came back to her senses, she picked up more food and said, "No." Seeing this, Old Master Qin didn't say anything else, but looking at his granddaughter, his heart was like a mirror. If it wasn't because the food wasn't good, then it was because the person he wanted to see wasn't here. After going upstairs, Bei Yunj was flipping through her book as usual, but her phone was not on silent mode. Soon her phone rang. In less than 3 seconds, Bei Yunj picked up her phone and answered the call. Who knew? It was Delaney's voice from the other end. "Miss Pei isn't busy?" Delaney was flattered. He did not expect Bei Yunj to answer the call so quickly. Chapter 427. What's the matter? Bei Yunj asked. Actually, it's not a big deal. Delaney chuckled. I'm going to Yunqing in half a month too. Why don't we arrange a time to go out for a meal? Bei Yunj said, I don't have time. I have to prepare for the monthly exam. Delaney was speechless. Was there a more perfunctory reason than this? Will you take a look at the professional league on the maps of the gods? Delaney asked carefully. This was Bei Yunj's third brother's competition after all. He should be there, right? I don't have time. Bei Yunj still used the same words. Delaney was speechless. Was the Qin family cutting ties with Bei Yunj? All right then, Delaney could not hide his sigh. Originally, he really wanted to meet Bei Yunj when he came to Yunqing this time. After all, to be able to have such a scientific research level at such a young age, he would definitely be an amazing person in the future. He felt that his brat was very lucky to be able to let Tich do scientific research with such a person. My brat was still clamoring to come and see you. Then I'll tell him. Bei Yunj suddenly interrupted him. Is Tich coming too? Delaney said without hesitation, yes. Then let him come. Jasmine will come over when he's free. Bei Yunj's words made Delaney suddenly feel that he was inferior to his son. He was a big boss with one of the top 3 assets in the world, yet he was inferior to his silly son. The next moment, before Delaney could feel indignant, he heard Bei Yunj suddenly speak. Delaney, I know you have the idea of raising your son poor. But Tich has lost so much weight. As his father, you have to be concerned. Delaney was speechless. He immediately said, Teacher Pei, did you misunderstand something? Is that so? I think Tich and Jasmine have been in low spirits recently. Although Bei Yunj felt that her 2 students were not very smart, they were still her students. She didn't want anything to happen to her student. Delaney was silent for a moment. Teacher Pei, Tich and the others often stay up all night to complete your missions and don't have time to eat. That's why. They're not in good spirits. It wasn't because they didn't have enough money to eat. Bei Yunj. Back then, she had considered that Tich and Jasmine were slow in grasping the content, so she had given them very few missions. Did I arrange a lot? Bei Yunj couldn't help but ask. In her previous life, when she had just started doing research, she had done the same amount of tasks every day. Even if they weren't used to it at first, they would get used to it quickly. Delaney thought for a moment and said tactfully, Teacher Pei, you might not know this, but most people won't be able to catch up to you in their entire lives. After all, back then, Tich had also felt that he was a genius that was hard to come by in 100 years. But when he entered Country R's Computing Institute, he finally sobered up. He even occasionally doubted himself and asked Delaney if it was better for him to go home and inherit billions of assets. Bae-Yunj was silent for a long time before hanging up after exchanging a few words with Delaney. A few minutes later, Bae-Yunj sent another message in the group chat with Tich and the other two. Tomorrow's class will be changed to Sunday. There's no rush to send it to my email. Also, if you want to attend the academic exchange meeting in Country R next week, bring my invitation letter. Chapter 428. When Tich and Jasmine, who were working hard on their projects, saw this news, their eyes brimmed with tears of excitement and complicated emotions. Initially, they thought that their teacher had already despised them enough. It was very likely that she would report to Marcus that she wanted to change the two interns. However, they did not expect that their teacher would even give them an invitation to our nation's academic exchange. This was an academic exchange that everyone wanted to attend no matter what. Where did our teacher get an invitation to our nation's academic exchange? Tich was stunned for a moment before he asked in confusion. Only those at the top of the academic circle could have an invitation to the academic exchange. Although their teacher was indeed amazing, she did not have any stable scientific research results in the industry. At this moment, Marcus, who was engrossed in his project, suddenly looked up. "Oh, I forgot to tell you. Busaka has specially invited your teacher to watch the award ceremony. I heard from the judges that your teacher's project was done too late and couldn't make it in time for this year's Busaka Award. Therefore, they invited your teacher to watch the venue first and wait for the next one." Tich and Jasmine? Was there such a thing? This was the KZ Busaka Award, the highest award in the computing field. Marcus smiled as if he could see their shock. He said leisurely, "That's more like it. You two brats, don't drag her down too much." As for the invitation to our nation's academic exchange, they had probably heard about Busaka and were deliberately trying to curry favor with Bae-Yunj. After all, to the public, was still a very unfamiliar existence. Every year, our nation would invite the top researchers to speak at the conference. Naturally, they would want to build a good relationship with Bae-Yunj. They hoped that if there was a chance in the future, Bae-Yunj would give them some face. Marcus could not help but snort. These two hotheads still did not know what level of thigh they had cozied up to. Are we really dragging Teacher Pei down? After Tich was done being agitated, he seemed to have thought of something and his expression darkened. Marcus was very honest. Yes. Wonderful book, right? Tich and Jasmine. Then, before Jasmine could finish, he was interrupted by Marcus. What does it matter? How many people in this world wouldn't be a burden to her? Tich and Jasmine, it seemed to make a lot of sense. You guys should work harder and make her less upset. Marcus couldn't help but stifle his laughter when he saw the two young geniuses doubting their lives. They were lucky and unlucky to have met such a teacher. As a genius, there were many times when the teacher couldn't keep up with the student halfway through learning. But now Tich and Jasmine's situation was reversed. He became a student who couldn't catch up to his teacher no matter what. This strong feeling of disparity was indeed heartbreaking. Chin family's old residence. Bae-Yunj had just finished showering and was about to work on a project when she heard her phone ring. Her long eyelashes fluttered, and her gaze fell on the remarks on the screen. Very soon, Bae-Yunj answered the phone, but her tone was light. "What's the matter, brother?" The man's deep voice became even more magnetic through the electric current, as if deliberately teasing people's eardrums. Bae-Yunj sounded a little displeased. "It's so late. Do you have something to tell me?" Chapter 429. The man's upturned eyes were charming and his gaze was deep and explicit. His posture was light and lazy and the corners of his lips curled up into a smile that made people blush and their hearts race. He held a cigarette casually between his fingers as he leaned lazily against the railing of the balcony. His voice was low and hoarse. "I can't sleep." Bae-Yunj was silent for a moment. "Why can't you sleep?" This man could not take good care of himself when he was working. I'm afraid that the little girl will have no conscience and forget about me in 2 days. Bae Yunj was speechless. His words made it sound as if she had abandoned him after having sex with him. Before Bae Yunj could finish speaking, she heard the man drag his voice and say slowly, "Brother is alone at home and can't wait for our union to call to say goodnight." His deep and magnetic voice seemed to ring in her ear. His laughter was very sexy and his tone was frivolous and ambiguous. "Have I served you for nothing, Union?" The moment he finished speaking, Bae Yunj felt as if her ears had been scalded and her temperature rose rapidly. She almost threw her phone away. What was wrong with this man recently? Did he think that she could control herself very well, or did he really treat her like a child who did not know anything about relationships? But after a while, Bae Yunj still took a deep breath to make herself look calm. "Brother, you're only thinking about having someone accompany you when you're old." "Who knew?" The man only chuckled softly and asked intimately, "Really? Then when is Union going home to accompany brother?" Hearing this, Bae Yunj's heart skipped a beat. The next day, Bae Yunj woke up very early. Although she did not sleep much, she was inexplicably energetic. As for the 3 members of the Chin family, because Bae Yunj had said last night that she did not like people knocking on the door to disturb her, they did not dare to go upstairs to look for her. They were afraid that Bae Yunj would find them clingy. "Pappy, you're so early?" Chin Yu and Chin Luyan were both there. As a senior internet addict, Chin Lang found it difficult to wake up at 6 in the morning. Bae Yunj sat on the sofa and glanced around but did not see old Master Chin. "Where's Grandpa?" "They're doing Tai Chi in the backyard." Chin Yu was used to it. Bae Yunj nodded and didn't say anything more. She started to play with her phone. After that, she saw Jianshi's message. "Jianshi, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Jianshi, I knew that Hong Chongjin, that old thing, was the most despicable. Jianshi, Shiba Inu biting rod. JPG, Bae Yunj." After a while, Bae Yunj replied, "YG, who is he?" At this moment, Jianshi, who was far away in Yun University's dormitory, was shocked when she saw the news. Although she felt that her teacher might really not know Hong Chongjin. But if Hong Chongjin knew about this, he would probably be angered to death. Jianshi, one of the founders of the Qinchong Computing Center, Hong Chongjin. Bae Yunj glanced at the message and remembered that when she had checked the local computing organizations, there seemed to be such a computing center. They claimed that they would catch up with the development of the Computing Institute within 3 years. However, since they had such a claim, it proved that they were still inferior to the institute. Therefore, Bae Yunj did not pay much attention to it. "Why Yi, why are you suddenly scolding him?" Jianshi. In his interview this month, he had a comment about the newbies in the industry. He was talking about you. Chapter 430. The 10 billion project this time had indeed made many people jealous. And the rise of a newcomer would definitely affect the interests of others. Therefore, the outside world was saying that was just a genius newcomer packaged by the Delaney Group. Hong Chongjin even took the lead in condemning people like her. Such opportunistic and powerless people would only tarnish the scientific research community. Bae Yunj finished searching for the relevant reports and chuckled in surprise. After all, in her previous life, Bae Yunj had Meng Liang as her mother, and her career in the scientific research community had always been smooth. In the eyes of others, Bae Yunj was born at the finish line. Others had to work 100 times harder to offset the educational resources Bae Yunj had from the moment she was born. However, what made people feel even more unreasonable was that the person who had this kind of educational resources was a genuine genius. In fact, she was several times more terrifying than her mother, Meng Liang, back then. However, when everyone saw that Meng Liang and her mother had shorter lives than the other, they sighed that the heavens were jealous of geniuses and that it was good to be mediocre. YGG, the mediocre are mediocre. Don't pay attention to these useless interviews. Jianshi, okay, by the way, teacher, I heard that Hong Chongjin recently accepted a student. I think it's your Cheng Zihuai? Actually, Hong Chongjin had said that he would not accept any personal students. However, who would have thought that news would spread in the past 2 days that Hong Chongjin had accepted Qing Zihuai as his student and even planned to groom him as his successor? Bei Yunj raised her eyebrows. She did not expect such a thing to happen. Qingchong Computing Center. Have you communicated with the Computing Institute? The middle-aged man walked out of the research lab and sized up Qing Zihuai in front of him. His tone was a little arrogant. He had no choice but to accept this Qing Zihuai because someone had come looking for him. Fortunately, he was indeed a little smart and would not embarrass him. I've already made it clear. I won't go to the Computing Institute anymore. After Qing Zihuai answered, he thought of Jian Shi, who had been accepted as a student. He unconsciously clenched his fists and warned himself silently. In the country, other than Zhong Shenglin, only Hong Chongjin could be considered one of the top figures in the computing field. Even if he was a rookie, he still couldn't compare to a veteran researcher like Hong Chongjin. His path would definitely be much easier than Jian Shi's. As for him, he would definitely regret not taking him in. A cold glint flashed across Qing Zihuai's eyes. That's good. Hong Chongjin laughed sarcastically. So now, we're just relying on Zhong Shenglin to hold on. Back then, the institute was still full of talents, but now, it's already half dead. A dark glint flashed across Qing Zihuai's eyes when he heard this. Teacher Hong, I heard that there's a dig there. As expected. The smile on Hong Chongjin's face froze. Then he sneered in disdain. Are you afraid that you won't die quickly enough? He dares to poach any kind of goods. Qing Zihuai could tell that Hong Chongjin didn't like it, so he didn't say anything. Seeing this, Hong Chongjin also glanced at Qing Zihuai and his tone became even more sarcastic. Don't tell me you also think that this is very powerful? But both Marcus and Zhong Shenglin think highly of him. Before Qing Zihuai could finish speaking, he was interrupted coldly by Hong Chongjin. In this world, how can there be a genius who appears out of nowhere? They're just things packaged by capital. Chapter 431. Hong Chongjin glanced at him from the corner of his eye and seemed to have thought of something. His tone turned cold. By the way, you're also someone who has been there before. What do you think of the Computing Institute? Qing Zihuai sensed Hong Chongjin's deliberate probing and could only say, other than Elder Zhong, Professor C seems to be not bad too. Hong Chongjin snorted, arrogant and smug. Yes, Si Qingyan is all right. This Zhong Shenglin only taught Si Qingyan. He will be finished sooner or later. With that said, he smiled at Qing Zihuai. But the Qingchong Computing Center is different. In the past few years, a large number of talents have entered our center. It's just a matter of time before we surpass the Computing Institute. Learn well. In the future, my position will be left for you. Hearing this, a trace of light flashed past Qing Zihuai's eyes and he immediately said, Thank you, teacher. Hong Chongjin snorted and started working on the project again. Gue? Qin Lang called out to her softly. Bei Yunj regained her senses and looked at Qin Lang. What's wrong? It's Saturday today. Do you want to watch my competition with Grandpa? After Qin Lang asked, he looked at Bei Yunj nervously. Qin Lang had asked when old Master Qin was not around. He was afraid that Bei Yunj would not be able to make a choice in front of old Master Qin. No, I have something on. With that said, Qin Lang's eyes darkened slightly. He clenched his fists unnaturally and forced a smile. Be careful on the road too. Qin Yu had an interview that he could not reject today and had just left. However, Qin Luyan was not in a hurry to go to work. He sat by the side and read the newspaper. He only glanced at that scene calmly and did not say anything. So, after old Master Qin returned, he changed his clothes and put on a hat. He grabbed Qin Lang and asked, I shouldn't be discovered like this, right? Qin Lang comforted him. No. How can anyone know you in my competition? Old Master Qin was speechless. He was also a reputable person, okay? Isn't Gur going? Hearing this, Qin Lang froze and smiled. Gur still has things to do. Don't stick to your granddaughter all day long. Brat, who am I doing this for? Old Master Qin slapped the back of Qin Lang's head and said angrily with an unhappy expression. None of his 3 grandsons were close to his precious granddaughter. He was just trying to help improve their relationship. All right. Let's go, or we'll be late for the competition. Qin Lang smiled, hiding the disappointment in his eyes. Actually, Qin Lang was supposed to follow his team members and set off from the base together. However, because Bei Yunj had returned yesterday, Qin Lang had applied for leave the day before the competition. However, not long after the two set off, Bei Yunj took her laptop from upstairs and was about to go to the computing institute when she found 2 entry tickets on the coffee table. Bei Yunj, were they planning to buy 2 folding chairs and squat outside to watch? Actually, Qin Lang didn't have to worry. He could enter with his face. What she was afraid of was that Qin Lang would walk backstage and the old master would only realize that he didn't have a ticket when he entered the front door. Thinking of this, Bei Yunj subconsciously pressed the space between her eyebrows and glanced at Qin Luyan, who was about to leave. What's wrong? Qin Luyan saw that Bei Yunj had something on and took the initiative to ask. Nothing. Bei Yunj thought for a moment, then went upstairs to put her laptop back and went out with the 2 tickets. According to the address on the tickets, Bei Yunj arrived at the venue in about half an hour. Chapter 432. Bei Yunj walked to the door and realized that this competition was indeed quite popular. The moment she looked up, she saw that most of the support on the field was for Qin Lang and his team. In fact, Bei Yunj could not find Old Master Qin for a while. Soon, Bei Yunj called Old Master Qin. Although the environment was a little noisy. Grandpa, did you go in? Are you talking about the competition venue? I went in. Grandpa realized that he didn't bring a ticket on the way, so he went backstage first. All right, that's good. With that said, Bei Yunj was about to hang up when she heard Old Master Qin ask. Where are you? Old Master Qin was stunned. When he heard the commotion on Bei Yunj's side, he could not help but ask, did you bring Grandpa a ticket? I didn't. Before Bei Yunj could finish speaking, a girl beside her screamed excitedly, "Oh, Qin Lang." Bei Yunj changed her words. I haven't gone in yet. That's good. Come backstage to find Grandpa. Grandpa doesn't know how to go to the audience seats alone. Hearing this, Bei Yunj answered without thinking. After hanging up the call, she glanced around and found that the screen in the sports square was playing the photos of the previous champions of the Maps of the Gods. Qin Lang was the face of Country A that appeared the most. From his cold and arrogant eyes to the occasional trace of high spirits, there was light in his eyes. This reminded Bei Yunj of the Qin Lang in her dream. Where did the glow in his eyes come from? There was only a lifeless look in his eyes. Especially after the original owner died, Qin Lang did not go to the club to be a coach anymore. Instead, he went to some mines to be a miner. In the end, in a dangerous accident, Qin Lang chose to give up his life for the high compensation. It was only after Qin Lang died that Qin Luyan and Qin Yu found out that after the original owner passed away, the beneficiaries of Qin Lang's death had been changed to them. However, the 2 brothers did not collect Qin Lang's death compensation. On the 7th day after Qin Lang's death, the Qin family was completely destroyed. Bei Yunj hid the darkness in her eyes as she scrolled through another number and called him. Miss Pei, how did you find the time to call me? The president of EG Corporation, Vic, almost stood up in excitement when he received Bei Yunj's call. Can I enter the competition venue on the Maps of the Gods? Bei Yunj thought for a moment and added, backstage. Sure. Wake thought of the hacker movie he watched last time, and his imagination suddenly went wild. Would it be faster for you to hack into the security system? Bei Yunj. No wonder he was Delaney's cousin. This was the first time she had heard such a request. Bei Yunj smiled patiently and said, if you like, I'll try to hack into your headquarters tonight. I don't have my laptop with me right now. Can I trouble you to help me? Wake suddenly sobered up and immediately declined, No, you'd better do your own thing. A few minutes later, when Bei Yunj walked to the backstage entrance, she saw an elite in a suit with a gold-plated admission card in his hand. Excuse me, are you Miss Pei? The young man sized up Bei Yunj in surprise. He did not expect the news from the headquarters that the person they wanted to receive with the highest treatment would be a young girl. Bei Yunj answered. Hearing this, the young man handed the entrance card to Bei Yunj. This is for you. What is this? Chapter 433. Bei Yunj held it in her hand. She didn't think that an ordinary backstage employee card could be made so exquisitely. This is the identity card that the headquarters said they would prepare for you. In the future, you can use this card to enter and exit any place under EG Corporation. After the young man finished speaking, he asked enthusiastically, Do you need me to accompany you on a tour? No need, I'm here to look for someone. Thank you. After Bei Yunj took the card, she went in to look for Old Master Qin. In the long corridor, Old Master Qin was stunned when he saw Bei Yunj enter. How did you get in? Bei Yunj's eyes flickered. She held Old Master Qin's hand and said lazily, There was no one at the door, so I came in. There was such a situation. Old Master Qin's eyes widened, but before he could think further, Bei Yunj brought him to the venue. However, as soon as they arrived, they heard Old Master Qin cursing. How could the venue be so noisy? Couldn't they consider the feelings of the old man? Bei Yunj seemed to have seen Old Master Qin's anger. She smiled and leaned closer to say, Grandpa, you're dressed too young today. They didn't notice. When Old Master Qin heard this, his unhappiness was instantly swept away and he generously forgave these young people. Bei Yunj and Old Master Qin sat in the first row according to Qin Lang's instructions. They were also very close to the stage. At this moment, the moment the two teams went on stage, the atmosphere in the venue was ignited. Screams rose and fell one after another. Fortunately, Bei Yunj had the foresight to cover Old Master Qin's ears and calmly wait for the enthusiasm of the crowd to dissipate. 69 school bag, and this scene happened to fall into the eyes of one of the team members on the stage. F***CK, isn't the little sister below too cute? Did you see? When she screamed just now, she immediately covered the ears of the old man next to her. Hearing this, another team member who was drinking water glanced coldly at Bei Yunj and Old Master Qin and sneered disdainfully. Didn't you see? That woman's clothes are all unbranded, and the older one beside her has a jacket that costs a few million. That person's gaze became even more contemptuous and disdainful. Women nowadays are really willing to do anything for money. It can't be? That girl looked too beautiful. She's even prettier than the movie queen I saw last time. Why not? She'll probably sleep with me as long as I give her money. I'll get your phone number later. The opposing team's discussion was not soft, and Qin Lang could hear it clearly. Unconsciously, his gaze turned cold. But after that, when Qin Lang turned his head and saw the people in the front row, he instantly knew who the people in the opposite team were talking about. Instantly, Qin Lang squeezed the mineral water bottle in his hand so hard that it made a cracking sound. Blue veins popped out on the back of his bony hand. Before the team members next to him could react, Qin Lang had already taken a step forward and walked to the opposite team. The person who spoke rudely just now heard the commotion behind him. Before he could turn around, he was suddenly kicked in the butt. His entire body fell forward. Are you courting death? For the first time, everyone saw that Qin Lang's eyes were filled with coldness, and his viciousness was difficult to conceal. This scene caused the atmosphere to freeze. The referee, coach, and the rest of the people felt their blood turn cold. What was wrong with this young master? This was AF * King live broadcast. Why did he hit someone at this time? Chapter 434. He went up and kicked Xiaoji's butt. Did he think that their team was developing too well? In the industry, other than Qin Lang himself, Xiaoji had the most female fans. What was he trying to do? As expected, Xiaoji's fans immediately shouted when they saw their idol being kicked in the butt. Qin Lang's fans were also stunned. They did not know why their brother Lang had gone crazy today. Qin Lang, are you crazy? Xiaoji's handsome face was about to contort. Qin Lang's teammates did not know what attitude to maintain for a moment. Wasn't Brother Lang playing too fiercely today? Usually, no matter how Xiao Ji plucked the fur from the tigers, but Qin Lang would not care. Why did Brother Lang suddenly go berserk today? You should be glad that you're still competing. Otherwise, would I have given you the chance to stand up? Qin Lang sneered. His beautiful eyes were filled with a cold light. His silver hair was lazy and untamed as he looked down at him from above. Xiao Ji was humiliated by Qin Lang in public. His face turned green and red and his eyes were filled with resentment. He gritted his teeth. Just you wait. As the competition had not started yet, there would not be any punishment for the conflict before the competition. However, it would definitely be on the headlines later. Qin Lang sneered lazily and then kicked his knee. What are you waiting for? If you say any more dirty words to me after the competition, do you think this thing will be ruined? Xiao Ji was just about to scold Qin Lang, but when he looked up, he met Qin Lang's cold, half-smiling eyes. This was even scarier than Qin Lang. Suddenly, Xiao Ji realized that he seemed to have said something about the girl below the stage. After that, Qin Lang's mood changed drastically. Chapter 9. When the competition officially started. The moment the two sides went on stage, they attracted the attention of countless people. As for the sudden incident just now, it had been temporarily forgotten due to the enthusiasm of the competition. However, this competition, until the second and third round, people could not help but be puzzled. Why did Qin Lang only go on stage once and use the substitutes for the rest? I'm convinced. Are there people in the esports scene who are starting to act like big shots? Looking down on other opponents so much? The female fan who was supporting Xiao Ji sneered sarcastically. However, Qin Lang's fans, who had been quietly watching the match, were instantly unhappy. Maybe the neighbor next door is too weak, so Brother Lang wants to give way? Look at the points. If Brother Lang doesn't appear in the next few rounds, it doesn't seem like there will be any changes, right? Being a noob is the original sin, Qin Lang's fans chimed in one after another. Instantly, the faces of the few people who were being sarcastic earlier changed. At this moment, when Bei Yunj heard the voices from the last few rows, she seemed to have thought of something and her eyes darkened. Was it because of the hand? Before Bei Yunj could think, the fans in the back rows suddenly screamed. The next moment, Bei Yunj glanced to the side and saw the usually unruly and lazy boy wearing the team uniform. His eyes were lowered, and he carefully carried snacks and milk drinks in his arms as he walked towards her. Qin Lang, who had always been the image of an arrogant young master in everyone's hearts, was actually able to form a relationship with an explosive boyfriend at this moment. It even made people want to touch his signature silver hair and furry head. Why do I feel like Brother Lang is flirting with me today? Chapter 435. But in the next second, everyone saw Qin Lang slowly bend down on one knee in front of a young girl and place the snacks and drinks in her arms. Qin Lang unconsciously touched the back of his neck lazily and chuckled softly. His youthful eyes curved and he inadvertently revealed a careless ruffian look. A third brother couldn't go out at the moment, so I searched for some backstage for you. Old Master Qin, who was only handed a bottle of iced red tea, was speechless. The fans below the stage were about to explode. This was the reason why you didn't compete well. Did you not want your girlfriend fans anymore? Announcing your relationship on the spot? Bei Yunj looked at Qin Lang's hand and nodded. Enough, thank you. After hesitating for a moment, she added, third brother. Hearing this, Qin Lang raised the corners of his eyes and the light in his eyes deepened. The corners of his lips curled up and he squatted lazily in front of Bei Yunj. He reached out and patted her head. You're welcome. Third brother will give her a trophy later, okay? At this moment, no one knew what the cameraman was thinking, but he directly turned the big screen camera to Bei Yunj's side. The intimate actions of the two of them, as well as Qin Lang's change from his usual arrogance to gentleness, made people suspect that this was the prelude to announcing their relationship. The venue was filled with screams. Qin Lang's team members were so angry that they were contorted. Why? They were all gaming dogs. Why did their captain have an overly beautiful girlfriend behind their backs? Isn't this too much? We were playing a competition up there, but he disappeared after one round. Or did he go down to take care of his girlfriend? Don't you think what's even more King outrageous is that those snacks are mine? They're mine. A fat boy roared sadly. It was too hurtful. Captain usually said that he should eat less to prevent himself from getting high when he was old. But what about him? He blatantly took his snacks and gave them to his girlfriend. Was he still considered human? When everyone heard this, they took a closer look and realized that the snacks they brought were already lying quietly on Bae Yunja's lap. The team members looked disgusted. CK, Chin dog die. Wait, don't you think that girl looks familiar? It can't be? You can also meet such a beautiful sister? In a dream? The team member restrained his urge to beat him up and said with a fake smile, I think she's Brother Lang's sister. Immediately, everyone on the stage quieted down and stared blankly at Bae Yunj below the stage. They suddenly understood why Chin Lang doted on his sister so much. Isn't my sister a little too pretty? Damn, he's so good-looking. Isn't his looks too amazing? How did the captain's family grow up? Isn't she too beautiful? The men stared blankly at Bae Yunj, unable to say anything nice. He could only say that she was beautiful. In the fourth round, Chin Lang went up again and widened the gap between the two teams. The audience cheered joyfully. During the intermission, Xiao Ji and the others were still discussing. Captain, I've received some news. One of the team members looked around cautiously and said to Xiao Ji, something seems to have happened to Chin Lang's hand. My friend saw him go for a checkup. Do you know what happened? A glint flashed across Xiao Ji's eyes as he asked. The doctor is too tight-lipped, so we can't dig out any information. But look, he didn't even dare to compete today. There must be something wrong. Chapter 436. When Xiao Ji heard this, he didn't say anything. But his heart was restless. If Chin Lang really had a problem with his hand, then Chin Lang's team would lose its backbone. And he would have the chance to lead his team to become the #1 team in the country. Thinking of this, Xiao Ji subconsciously suppressed his excitement and tried to keep himself rational. Let's wait and see. Chin Lang just got off the stage for that girl. When Xiao Ji said this, the members subconsciously looked at Bae Yunj and thought of the scene just now. This was indeed not in line with Chin Lang's usual character. Just as the atmosphere was silent, Xiao Ji looked up and happened to catch a glimpse of Bae Yunj walking into the backstage. A strange light flashed across his eyes as he watched Bae Yunj walk inside. He just patted his team member's shoulder. You go back first. I know how to deal with this matter. After that, Xiao Ji caught up with Bae Yunj's back. The disdain and sarcasm in his eyes grew stronger. He really didn't expect that this woman would dare to sneak backstage. However, at this moment, Xiao Ji had already made up his mind. Since Chin Lang cared so much about this girl, what if he touched her? With Chin Lang's care for this girl, he would definitely want to end the competition as soon as possible and find trouble with him. In the next round, Chin Lang would definitely play personally. But if Chin Lang was injured, where did he get the courage to continue playing personally? The smile on Xiao Ji's face became even more obvious. If Chin Lang was really injured, then he was also looking forward to the day when Chin Lang would get out of the esports scene. Thinking of this, Xiao Ji had already followed Bae Yunj to the elevator on the first floor. After seeing Bae Yunj enter, Xiao Ji immediately followed her into the elevator. At this moment, Bae Yunj glanced at Xiao Ji indifferently. Her red lips curled up, but there was no smile in her eyes. She casually pressed the 4th floor. As for Xiao Ji, after looking at the number of floors that Bae Yunj pressed, he also chuckled. The 4th floor is the management level. Miss, do you know someone from the management level? Bae Yunj didn't even look at him. She just waited quietly. So, they reached the 4th floor. However, as soon as the elevator door opened, Xiao Ji quickly stopped Bae Yunj. Miss, are you not going to give me any face? Xiao Ji's gloomy eyes stared at her as he laughed. Sir, are you not going to move aside? There was no emotion in Bei Yunji's tone, but there was a hint of impatience in his half-smile. How long have you known Qin Lang? Qin Lang hasn't had a woman by his side for so many years. Today, he's trying to please you in public. Xiao Ji stared at her, afraid that he would miss any expression. However, does Qin Lang know that you know anyone in the management team? Seeing the elevator door close again, Pei Yunj snorted. Her leisurely tone was filled with a terrifying coldness. Don't you understand human language? Xiao Ji's eyes suddenly darkened. He looked at Bei Yunj in front of him and suddenly smiled. You are indeed qualified to hook up with Qin Lang, but you don't have to focus only on Qin Lang. My fans in the industry aren't much less than Qin Lang's. He has the Qin family behind him, and I have the Xiao family behind me. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Ji approached Bei Yunj step by step. He put one hand on the wall of the elevator and the other hand wanted to lift Bei Yunj's chin. But the next moment, however, the corners of Pei Yunj's lips curled up and she turned her face away quickly, causing Xiao Ji to miss. You should be called Xiao Ji, right? Bei Yunj had seen Xiao Ji in the original owner's dream. Chapter 437. Xiao Ji, the person who later replaced Qin Lang's position. Another time, he deliberately made things difficult for the original owner in front of Qin Lang. He was beaten up by Qin Lang and was also admitted to the hospital. And later, Qin Lang's leg was almost broken by the Xiao family. You know me. Xiao Ji was in a good mood when he heard this. He thought that his popularity was not much worse than Qin Lang's. Yes. Bei Yunj's eyes curved. Just like in her previous life, the original owner introduced herself to Xiao Ji and repeated word by word. I'm Qin Lang's sister, Bei Yunj. What was different was, Pei Yunj's eyes were filled with coldness that was hard to detect. And Xiao Ji was not like in her previous life, who led a group of people to mock her and deliberately embarrassed her in public. Her pupils constricted and she gritted her teeth. You're his sister? Xiao Ji sneered. Isn't that even easier? I want to see if Qin Lang will go crazy when his sister is raped by the enemy. Hearing this, unlike ordinary people, Pei Yunj did not show any panic in this claustrophobic and quiet elevator. Instead, the corners of her lips curled up. Don't worry about others first. Bei Yunj slowly lifted her long hair, bit the rubber band on her wrist, and tied it up easily. There are still 10 minutes to the competition, right? When Xiao Ji heard this and saw Bei Yunj's posture, he could not help but laugh sarcastically. Did this woman think that she could beat him with her thin arms and legs? Ridiculous. I advise you to be sensible. You don't want to be watched by others what we do in the elevator, do you? Xiao Ji deliberately threatened and then reached out to touch Bei Yunj. But in the next moment, before Xiao Ji could react, Bei Yunj suddenly kicked him in the abdomen. In the elevator, an unbearable cry of pain sounded. The veins on Xiao Ji's forehead popped out. His expression was painful and cold sweat broke out. What's the point of doing it in the elevator? The girl suddenly laughed. Her lazy and clear voice sounded very flirtatious, but at this moment, when it fell into the man's ears, it made his heart turn cold. You! Xiao Ji's heart gradually filled with fear, but before he could say anything he saw Bei Yunj open the elevator door. Shortly after, before Xiao Ji could react, Bei Yunj grabbed him by the back of his collar and dragged him towards the door. Xiao Ji was choked so tightly that he couldn't breathe. His whole face was red, but no matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't break free from Bei Yunj's hands. She was easily dragged away by Bei Yunj. Cough cough. Cough. Xiao Ji opened his mouth with great difficulty. His throat tightened again, and he coughed violently. After that, just as Xiao Ji felt that he was about to lose consciousness, Bei Yunj suddenly threw him down. The two of them went to the sink in the public restroom. Xiao Ji had long been traumatized by this girl. What are you trying to do? Didn't you tell me to be tactful? Bei Yunj chuckled unhurriedly and walked toward Xiao Ji. When Xiao Ji saw this, his heart almost jumped to his throat. He almost didn't hesitate to shout, "Help, help!" But soon, Bei Yunj grabbed him by the collar with one hand, pressed him to the side of the mop basin, and turned the faucet to the maximum. Xiaoji wanted to call for help, but when he opened his mouth, he drank a few mouthfuls of water and choked. The person behind him held his neck and didn't give him any chance to move at all. Until Xiaoji was about to die. Chapter 438. Only then did the hand behind his back loosen. At this moment, Xiaoji fell to the ground from the edge of the mop basin. He was drenched and in a sorry state. Unconsciously, he heard Bei Yunj's soft laughter. He looked up and saw her standing by the sink, washing her hands slowly. Your father is involved in the CT project, right? As his son, shouldn't you remind him not to mess with the Qin family? Bei Yunj's words rang out slowly, but inexplicably, they sent a chill down his spine. How did Bei Yunj know about this? In fact, this project was a collaboration between the Qin family and other companies over the past 5 years. However, the Xiao family and the Qin family had always been at odds. The Xiao family had long planned to bring down the Qin family. Therefore, they were prepared to take advantage of this collaboration with the Qin family and interfere with the project. They wanted the Qin family to fall completely and never be able to rise again. Before Xiaoji could feel guilty, Bei Yunj had already walked up to him. She lazily sprinkled the wet water on Xiaoji's head and smiled condescendingly. Otherwise, the next person to lie in your position will be him. As soon as she finished speaking, Bei Yunj's cell phone rang in her pocket. She pulled out a tissue, wiped her hands dry, and took out her cell phone. It was the person in charge of the competition that she had just met. Bei Yunj saw this and glanced at Xiaoji. In an instant, Xiaoji's scalp went numb and he didn't dare to say a word. Bei Yunj saw this scene, sneered softly, and walked out of the door. Coincidentally, at this moment, the young man she had just met Bei Yunj in the corridor. Miss Pei. The person in charge was a little surprised. He adjusted his glasses and said, I didn't expect you to be here. I just passed by and didn't seem to find you. Yes, I was followed by a strange man just now. So I went to the washroom. Hearing this, Potato. The person in charge suddenly became nervous. What? Here. Someone actually dared to follow backstage. Wasn't that too presumptuous? Yes, he's still in the washroom. If you have time, why don't you take care of it? Bei Yunj nodded and smiled. This made the person in charge feel a little strange, but after thinking about it, Bei Yunj would not lie to him. He immediately called the security guard over and got someone to call the police. Miss Pei, if you encounter such a situation again, it's better to call the police. The person in charge reminded. Yes, thank you. Bei Yunj changed the topic and asked, So, why did you ask me to come here? Yes, that's right. The person in charge smiled gently. The headquarters are asking if you are free. The founder of EG Group, Mr. Vic, wants to meet you during the next competition. When he said this, the person in charge was also very surprised. He did not expect Bei Yunj to know the big boss of their headquarters. No, I won't come next time. Bei Yunj refused without any hesitation. The manager's smile froze. Then what are you doing this time? Who would have thought that there would be a day when their big boss would be rejected? My family came to watch the competition and forgot to bring the tickets. After Bei Yunj finished speaking, she said goodbye to the person in charge and left. At this moment, the person in charge was also in a hurry to deal with the person in the washroom, so he did not think much about it. However, the person in charge waited for the security guard at the door. When the security guard went in and found the suspicious man who had followed them. Chapter 439. The person in charge's face froze. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. But at this moment, Xiaoji's eyes lit up when he saw the person in charge. He gritted his teeth and said, Suwu, a woman deliberately beat me up just now. Go and catch her. I will definitely make them pay for this. The person in charge took a deep breath. Do you know, what's her name? Bei Yunj. She's Qin Lang's sister, Xiao Wu. Qin Lang must have ordered her to do this. However, before Xiaoji could finish speaking, The person in charge had already turned around and instructed the others. Let Xiao Zhi's team use a substitute. Send Xiao Zhi to the hospital first. Don't spread the news about anything else. Xiao Zhi looked at him in disbelief. So Wu, what do you mean? Xiao Zhi, you can provoke anyone but that person. The person in charge could not help but frown. He glanced at Xiao Zhi and left. This alienation made Xiao Zhi's heart turn cold. What did Xiao Wu mean just now? Xiao Wu did not say that when he had a conflict with Qin Lang previously. But now, he actually told him not to provoke Bai Yunj. But wasn't this Bai Yunj the real good-for-nothing heiress that the internet said? What did Xiao Wu mean? The next round of the competition began. The atmosphere in the venue did not diminish. It was exciting. However, what was very surprising was that Xiao Zhi actually used a substitute at the last minute. Damn, both captains used substitutes. What does this mean? Everyone was shocked. At this moment, Xiao Zhi's fans said arrogantly, "Our brother Zhi wants the competition to be fair. If Qin Lang can use a substitute, why can't our brother Zhi?" Yo, my brother Lang got first place. Why didn't your brother Zhi get first place too? Qin Lang's fans, who had a feud with Xiao Zhi's fans for a long time, immediately retorted. Xiao Zhi's fans were furious. What's so great about that? Didn't he enter the industry a year earlier than my brother Zhi? If my brother Zhi entered the industry earlier, would Qin Lang even have a chance? Qin Lang's fans laughed. What can we do? My brother Lang is a year younger than your brother Zhi. If that's the case, your brother Zhi won't be able to get first place even when he retires, right? These words. Xiao Zhi's fans almost fought with Qin Lang's fans on the spot. However, Qin Lang had too many fans. Until the competition ended. As expected, Qin Lang's team won the match. But then, everyone realized that something was wrong. Although Qin Lang had found a substitute for the competition. But at least Qin Lang was there when she received the award. Why did Xiao Zhi disappear completely after finding a substitute? Perhaps the host was afraid that the fans would think too much, so during the award ceremony, he added a lucky draw segment. This allowed the audience to log into the maps of the gods and enter the lucky draw. As for the audience members who won the lottery, 300 of them would receive virtual coins as a reward. One audience member could go up on stage and hug the contestant. This instantly ignited the enthusiasm of the fans below the stage, and they all participated in the lucky draw. At this moment, Bai Yunj glanced at the big screen on the stage. Gradually, the IDs of the winners of the virtual currency awards were displayed. However, Old Master Qin was very interested in this. Help me take a look. How should I draw it? As soon as Bai Yunj heard this, she immediately went back to participate in the event on behalf of Old Master Qin. Unfortunately, she didn't get any prizes. Old Master Qin was instantly disappointed. Chapter 440. Grandpa, it's okay. How much do you want? I'll transfer it to you. Bai Yunj took out her cell phone, intending to transfer the virtual coins to Old Master Qin. When she helped the headquarters of the maps of the gods solve the bug, the system automatically sent her a lot of virtual coins. As for how many there were, Bai Yunj did not count how many zeros there were. Unexpectedly, Old Master Qin's eyes lit up. He immediately leaned in and said, You should go for the lucky draw too. Bai Yunj was speechless. It made no difference whether she participated in this kind of lucky draw or not. Grandpa, I have a lot. You have to spend money to buy it. Old Master Qin disagreed. This can't be compared to the happiness you get without spending money. Listen to Grandpa and do the lucky draw. Don't worry. Grandpa told your fortune last year. You have a great fortune. You'll definitely win the prize. Bai Yunj was speechless. Was this how a great fortune should be used? Bai Yunj's lips twitched, but she did not go against Old Master Qin's wishes. She also did the lucky draw. After all, it was a waste of time to participate in this kind of lucky draw. However, a few seconds later, Bai Yunj saw a special light appear on the screen, and she had an ominous feeling. The next moment, a line of words appeared on her cell phone screen. Congratulations! You have won the special prize, Pei Yunji's breath froze. Immediately afterward, everyone suddenly saw the ID of the special prize appear on the screen at the same time. Special prize ID 1. This line of words was bigger and clearer than the one beside the winning virtual coins. All of a sudden, the entire audience froze and their minds were in a mess. Is this a high-quality imitation ID? Maps of the gods. Where did this high-quality imitation come from? Hence, the atmosphere became even weirder in an instant. Immediately afterward, U9 ebook. Screams could be heard in the venue. Is this going to break the dimension? Aha! Are they going on stage to receive the prize? The special prize was to go on stage and hug the contestant. Everyone who was reminded was so excited that they almost exploded. All of a sudden, after being chosen for this prize, they even felt that the real winner was the pro player on stage. Boo-hoo, I suspect that this is a covert operation. The competition team deliberately wants to reward the contestant. Come out quickly. I've long wanted to see what it looks like. In the first row, Bei Yunj. Old Master Qin approached his granddaughter to ask, "Did you win the virtual coins?" Pei Yunj immediately logged out of the Maps of the Gods and sent a message to the person in charge of the competition. Old Master Qin was greatly disappointed when he heard this. You didn't? That's such a pity. Pei Yunj was speechless. It's okay. We can still buy more. Anyway, Grandpa has money. I think to be. Pei Yunj paused. It's all right. He's very good. I heard that he's still young. Old Master Qin could not help but sigh enviously. How good would it be if he were my grandson? We need someone to do research at home. Upon finishing his words, Old Master Qin also looked at the stage, wanting to know what this person looked like. However, everyone waited for a while. The MC received a notice and smiled at everyone. I'm sorry. Well, this is an internal mistake. Let's redraw the special prize. Hearing that, Chapter 441. He was definitely at the scene. It was just that he refused to show up. No, this award is for. Instantly, the people below the stage began to jeer. There are two good-looking people on stage. Our brother Lang is so good-looking. Give us some face. Come, our brother Lang, I beg you. The female audience on the stage was louder than the other. The other audience and players could not help but laugh. On the stage, Qin Lang's team members also sighed. I really didn't expect to be so close to a cultured person in my life. Back then, he was also a thorn in his teacher's side. Now, watching him compete, this feeling was really good. A cultured person also has to sit down and watch us compete. A few team members teased. However, Qin Lang sneered. Don't think about it. It's not your turn to sit here even if you play professionally. Wake up. As soon as he finished speaking, the team members wanted to refute, but they suddenly remembered that the first place in the Maps of the Gods had yet to be broken. A scholar should act like a scholar. Why should he play games? However, in fact, there were many highly educated players in the industry. For example, Qin Lang was from the mathematics department of Yun University. Could it be that we are being looked down upon, so she is unwilling to come and receive the award? The team members trembled. This segment was supposed to be filled with love. Usually, the ones who won the prize were lovely girls. But this time, a big shot actually won the prize. In the face of everyone's jeering, the host's voice was still sweet. She smiled slightly. I know that everyone's enthusiasm for this lucky draw winner may surpass the players on the stage. But it's okay. If everyone really likes it, you can pay more attention to the works. Everyone was speechless. What a ruthless woman. The works of? Was that something that humans could understand? In the end, the second special prize was won by a delicate and pretty little girl. She went on stage and hugged Qin Lang first. Then she ran down with a red face. When the competition officially ended on the way back, many people hit on Old Master Qin. Do you are? I like you so much. Old Master Qin was speechless. Bae Yunj was speechless. Immediately, the girl's boyfriend pulled her back. Are you stupid? It's a woman, and I heard that she's quite young. When the girl heard that, she immediately reacted. She looked at Old Master Chin apologetically. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm fine. Old Master Chin waved at her and quickly left with Bae Yunj, entering the backstage. Backstage, Chin Lang brought Old Master Chin and Old Master Chin into the lounge. The team members greeted Old Master Chin obediently. Then, they couldn't help but look at Bae Yunj. Wasn't this too beautiful? If it wasn't for the old man, he really wanted to talk to his boss's sister. At this moment, Old Master Chin saw that the boys were all very polite and didn't notice that they were all secretly looking at Bae Yunj. His prejudice against the players in the game was mostly dispelled. Not bad. Work hard. Old Master Chin had never been the gentle type towards boys. He only nodded his head calmly to show his approval. I will, Grandpa Chin. Several team members couldn't help but nod. Chapter 442. Yes, this is my granddaughter, Bae Yunj. Old Master Chin said proudly. Bae Yunj glanced at the people in front of her and nodded at them. Hello. The members were speechless. She was simply a girl who looked beautiful. Even her voice was so pleasant to the ears. Okay, I'm good. The members nodded. They finally understood why their boss was so happy without a girlfriend. With a younger sister who looked like this, why would he need a girlfriend? He could even shorten his lifespan. Chin Lang noticed the menacing gazes of his team members and immediately went forward to grab the back of their collars and flung them back. The one who made the most mistakes this time still has the cheek to say that? The celebration party is over. Go back and practice for 2 hours. As for the two of you, how did you brag to me last time? You wanted Xiao Ji to go home and farm in 10 minutes? Chin Lang slapped their heads. One of them was almost sent home to farm by Xiao Ji, while the other gave Xiao Ji his head twice. After being lectured in public, none of the team members dared to say anything more. Old Master Chin also realized that even if his grandson played games, he did not seem like he was doing something improper. Instead, it made people feel that he was youthful and hot-blooded. The cheers in the arena were the best proof. After returning home, Old Master Chin was very happy. On the other hand, Chin Lang sat in the front passenger seat and kept touching his right hand. Bae Yunj happened to see this scene from the corner of her eye. So she looked away, the meaning in her eyes unclear. Even after she was reborn, the Chin family did not seem to have deviated from its original development. Until now, only Old Master Chin had been saved by Bae Yunj. Beautiful, however, Chin Lang's hand injury, Chin Yu's disfigurement by fans because he was framed for having a crush on a child, and Chin Luyen's entanglement with that woman were still happening. After returning to the old mansion, the moment Bae Yunj entered, she did not expect to see Huashidu sitting by the sofa with Chin Luyen on either side. The atmosphere was tense. Why was he here? Shidu, you're finally here. Old Master Chin seemed to have known that Huashidu would come. Yes, Grandpa Chin and Yun Yun went to watch the competition today? Huashidu walked over and helped Old Master Chin sit on the sofa. Even though Ah Lang is a professional gamer, he didn't embarrass the Chin family. Old Master Chin's eyes were filled with pride. That's only natural. Gaming competitions are no different from other competitions. Huashidu chatted with Old Master Chin, but from the corner of his eye he kept paying attention to the silent young lady beside him. However, then, before Huashidu could speak to Bae Yunj, the young lady in front of him suddenly stood up. Grandpa, I'm a little sleepy. I'm going to sleep first. When Old Master Chin heard this, he thought that Bae Yunj was tired from watching the competition with him. He immediately said, Okay, Grandpa will get someone to call you downstairs for dinner later. No need. I'll come down in an hour, Bae Yunj said with a smile. Dinner time in the Chin family's old mansion had always been 7:30 p.m. It was exactly 6:30. All right, go and sleep for a while. Old Master Chin nodded, not noticing Huashidu's expression at all. Okay, After Bei Yunj went upstairs. Chapter 443. After going upstairs, Bei Yunj received a message. She opened the chat list and saw that it was a screenshot sent to her by Tich and the others. As for the content of the screenshot, it was Hong Chongjin, who had been causing a commotion recently. After mentioning Bei Yunj, he wrote another essay. It was called The Capitalist's Plaything. As expected, the protagonist of Hong Chongjin's essay, which was filled with hatred for evil, was Bei Yunj. Tich, teacher, does this person have a grudge against you? Jasmine, this person is really tasteless. When Tich and I went online, we saw that his students had posted a translated version of it on the foreign web. Jasmine, but it's okay. Tich and I have already scolded him on behalf of teacher. Like, when Bei Yunj saw these messages, she thought for a moment and quickly replied. Have you completed the task that I assigned to you last time? Tich and Jasmine, who were far away in country were speechless. Why did her teacher place more importance on them than her own gossip? Tich, it's done. Jasmine, +1. I'll take care of the rest. Don't worry. Indeed, Bei Yunj did not expect Hong Chongjin to be so playful at his age. So, Bei Yunj sent a message to Marcus. Chingchong Computing Center. Save the book. Hong Chongjin looked at the internet. Other than his good friends, even the other netizens liked and shared his post, supporting his statement. There was a hint of pride in his eyes. He clicked on the comments and continued to scroll down. I've long felt that there was a problem. A month ago, she was someone who I had never heard of. The moment she stepped out of the industry, she was involved in a research project worth 10 billion yuan. After that, she fixed a bug for Example Corporation. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? It's worthy of a conspiracy theory. Since she's so amazing, why isn't there any news of her winning the Busaka Prize? They didn't even invite her to participate, right? Huh, you guys don't know, right? She even went to watch the Maps of the Gods competition today. Everyone was shouting her name. Those who didn't know would think that she was an idol. If you want to be a scientific genius, you have to see if you have the capital. Professor Hong dares to speak the truth. Professor Hong is too straightforward. Seeing these comments, Hong Chongjin didn't have time to feel complacent. Suddenly, he flipped to the next post. Research Institute, Zhong Shenglin. You really think you're a plaything? Chingchong Computing Center, Hong Chongjin, published a headline article, The Plaything of Capitalists, in an instant. Hong Chongjin's expression changed. He didn't expect that Zhong Shenglin would dare to criticize him so directly on the internet. This Zhong Shenglin. Hong Chongjin gritted his teeth and clicked on Zhong Shenglin's repost with anger. However, he discovered that almost no one was on his side. There was even a familiar ID in the front row of the hot comments. Our nation's Medical Research Institute, thank you very much. The medical testing machine was developed last month. The first machine has entered the testing stage. I believe that more patients will be treated in the near future. When this comment came out, many netizens were shocked. So how much trouble did he cause in the last month? The Delaney 10 billion project, the Maps of the Gods bug, and even a computerized medical device? Is it very impressive to make a machine? What kind of contrarian is the upstairs poster? The medical machines used by our nation's Medical Research Institute are all top-notch medical machines. Chapter 444. Hong Chongjin's face was distorted. He didn't expect that even Stephen would come and interfere. One had to know that if these research institutes dared to take sides, how could they not have instructions from the higher-ups? At this moment, it was also because of Zhong Shenglin and the Our Nation's Medical Institute statements that the rumors from a while ago gradually subsided. After all, this industry was very far from ordinary people like them, and it was not something they should worry about. Besides, even the top computing expert in the country, Zhong Shenglin, was speaking up for her now. It was really hard to say who was right and who was wrong. At the Qin family's old residence. After eating downstairs, Bei Yunj went upstairs quickly. Qin Lang could not help but be puzzled. Is there a lot of homework recently? The man beside her answered carelessly. His eyes were lowered, looking lazy and light, but the corners of his upturned eyes were charming. Gur is really hardworking. Right? Don't you know Hung does homework the best? Qin Yu said. In the past, Qin Lang was also a student of Hung Da. Qin Yu turned around and asked, Master Du, does Gur often do homework after school when she's with you? Grandpa Qin, I'll go upstairs and rest for a while. Okay. Old Master Qin immediately said, Shidu, your room is the first one on the right corridor. Qin Lang nodded, feeling very relieved. However, the moment he finished speaking, the man who had not spoken much suddenly stood up. However, he did not expect the room to be bright when the door was pushed open. Shidu's pale-colored eyes darkened. His well-defined hand was still on the door handle calmly. At the same time, sorry to trouble you, Grandpa. After Shidu went upstairs, he was not in a hurry to find the little girl. Instead, he pushed open the door of the guest room and planned to take a shower first. Bei Yunj was about to get out of bed when she realized that she was wearing a very cool halter dress. There was a brown teddy bear on the bedside table. In the next moment, Bei Yunj, who had just taken a shower and was sitting by the bed with her laptop, froze when she heard the noise. She instantly understood why this guest room was so clean. Because this was prepared for Shidu. Shidu went forward and reached out his hand playfully. His slender index finger poked her head under the silk blanket. Why did you run to your brother's bed? Big brother, go out for a while. I'll fix this bed for you. After Bei Yunj finished speaking calmly, she did not expect the bed to suddenly sink. Bei Yunj heard footsteps at the door. She immediately grabbed the teddy bear on the bedside table and covered herself with the quilt. This was what Shidu saw when he walked in. The man's thin lips raised a light arc, and even the usual lazy peach blossom eyes overflowed with the light of a smile. Bei Yunj, this man was definitely doing it on purpose. Not long after, Shidu sat beside her. No need. Yun didn't even talk to me when I came over today. Shidu's thin red lips curled up. His usual lazy eyes were filled with a seductive smile. It's just nice now. Only Yun and I can have a good chat. Bei Yunj composed herself and slowly poked her head out of the silk blanket. But she didn't want to. When she looked up, she almost leaned into Shidu's chest and smelled the man's pleasant and cold scent. Bei Yunj calmly covered her head with the blanket and moved back. What do you want to talk about? Chapter 445. Shidu looked at the fruits on the table and took them naturally. His well-defined hands slowly peeled the fruit. His tone was frivolous and he had a casual smile on his face. However, his posture was extremely indulgent as he coaxed her. Let's talk about our little ancestor. What's going on? Did this man know how easy it was for others to misunderstand him when he spoke like this? I'm fine. Yes, I'm not good. I can't sleep without Yun around. After Shidu finished speaking, Bei Yunj looked up and noticed that there was a faint bruise under the man's beautiful eyes. Indeed, he did not sleep well. This thought flashed through Bei Yunj's mind. In the next moment, Bei Yunj subconsciously reached out and gently touched the faint bruise under the man's peach blossom eyes. She did not notice the heartache in her heart. The man did not say a word or remind her. He only looked at the little girl who was touching his face with his dark eyes. Did you stay up all night yesterday? Bei Yunj asked. The man's tone was still natural, and his thin lips curled into a lazy smile. Then can't you take care of yourself? After Bei Yunj touched his face, she felt that this man's skin was really good. She had never seen him take care of his skin usually. With this thought in mind, Bei Yunj almost followed her thoughts and pinched him again. Seeing the little girl reluctantly retract her hand, the darkness in Shidu's eyes faded a little. The corners of his lips curled up. Yes, I'll listen to Yun. Bei Yunj looked at the man's gaze and shrank back into the blanket unnaturally. Why do you listen to me? Her voice became softer and softer. Unexpectedly, the man suddenly chuckled and slowly leaned closer. His gaze was fixed and his voice was extremely low and sexy. Why do you think Yun? For a moment, All of Bei Yunja's rationality seemed to be about to explode. Bashanite du. Bei Yunja's aura inexplicably weakened and she continued to shrink into the blanket. However, unexpectedly, the man's lips curled up and he suddenly leaned over to pull the edge of the blanket and pressed forward. He reached under the blanket and slowly inched closer. Just as Bei Yunja's entire body froze. The man's eyes were so dark that she couldn't tell what he was thinking. He chuckled in a low voice and rubbed the tip of her nose. His deep and magnetic voice, with a burning temperature, rang in her ears. Because, I want to coax you home, Yunyun. When they left, Bei Yunj was held captive and fed with oranges. Only then did she leave in a hurry. The next day, Bei Yunj also left very early. However, even Bei Yunj did not know why she felt guilty whenever she saw Huashidu. On the bus to Hengda, Bei Yunj gathered her thoughts and happened to see the message Du Xiao sent her, so she sent the score she had written over. When she was about to arrive, Du Xiao sent her an emoji. Du Xiao, thumbs up. Bei Yunj's eyelids twitched unconsciously before she sent him another message. Bei Yunj, don't worry about losing the score. Also, check who wants my score. Du Xiao, no problem. Hengda. Yunj, have you heard the news? Zhong Shenglin and Country R's Medical Institute have publicly supported it and even challenged Hong Chongzhen, Lu Yuanci asked. Hearing this, Bei Yunj rubbed her index finger that was holding the pen. Why are you telling me this? Chapter 446. Bei Yunj was speechless. She thought that he knew something. I'm not. Bei Yunj said clearly. Lu Yuanci snorted. You're so stubborn. Bei Yunj was speechless. Forget it. But to be honest, a lot of people are talking about Yuan now. They're all free. Bei Yunj slowly took out her homework and slowly made up for it. If it was in the past, Lu Yuanci could still laugh and say that she was hopeless. But now that he thought about how this person was the first place in the physics competition, he fell silent. Bei Yunj did not look like a top student from beginning to end. No one would believe that she could get first place in the competition. However, this was the truth. Sometimes you look like a fan, but sometimes you look like an anti-fan. Otherwise, how could a normal fan be so calm? Bei Yunj was speechless. Suddenly, Bei Yunj's phone vibrated. She took it out and opened it. Someone had sent her an email. It was old Mr. 107 from the last time. He was probably asking her if he could meet her to express his gratitude if he could get an official spot in the International Musicians Association. Among them, there was also a music score. Bei Yunj clicked on it and looked at it for a while. She felt that this old man's composing ability was more malleable than others. His style was unique and did not lack spirituality. He was like an unpolished jade that only needed to be carved carefully. So, erotic ebook. Bei Yunj agreed to his request and planned to change the score for this old man if he could pass the competition. At the same time, Qin Youjiao, who had really gotten Yun's score, had a terrible expression on her face. She could not help but call that woman. It's impossible for me to learn this score in a week. Besides, I'm going for the interview in 5 days. Qin Youjiao gritted her teeth. However, after hearing Qin Youjiao's complaints, the woman only laughed. But this is Yun's new song. If you want to enter the International Musicians Association, you can definitely enter with this score. Easy for you to say. But how do you expect me to learn this score in such a short time? Qin Youjiao gritted her teeth. She never thought that Yuan would make such a score. How on earth did he write such an extraordinary and majestic score? The voice on the other end of the phone was silent for a while, then said, I can get someone to change it for you. Qin Youjiao heaved a sigh of relief. But in the next moment, the woman laughed and said, But Youjiao, I've helped you so much. Shouldn't you help me with something serious? The blood in Qin Youjiao's body seemed to freeze as she asked, What is it? Why are you so nervous? It's not like you don't know that I like your big brother. How about you help me take a look at the Qin group and copy some things into your big brother's computer? But my relationship with my older brother is strained. How do you want me to enter the Qin family? Qin Yojiao's expression changed. Your relationship with your big brother is strained, but it's not like your relationship with everyone in the Qin family is strained. If you can do this well, I'll help you change a new score. The woman smiled. Yojiao, if you can't help me with this, how can I believe that you can help me with other things? But with your ability, even the Qin family can't fight against you. But because I like your big brother. Chapter 447. Can't you tell that I'm pursuing him? In our nation. The woman was wearing a purple satin dress with a transparent ruby tied to her collar. Her slender hands were wearing black lace gloves as she drank black tea. She crossed her legs and sat by the French windows, looking arrogant and beautiful. Qin Yojiao clenched her fists and her eyes darkened. After a while, she said, I'll do what you asked me to do. The woman smiled. Okay, thank you for your hard work, Yojiao. Until she hung up. The white-haired butler walked beside the woman and said respectfully, Miss, if you really like him, why don't you buy the Qin family directly? Then can he really like me? The woman turned around and asked him. The butler wanted to say something but hesitated. There were some things he did not dare to say. Back then, Miss had taken a fancy to Qin Luyan at the banquet. However, Qin Luyan only glanced at her and did not give her more. It was obvious that that man was not interested in Mississippi. Besides, the butler could clearly feel that this President Qin was not an ordinary young master of a corporation. He was afraid that Miss would provoke someone she shouldn't. I've checked the Qin family. Only Lu Yen is not bad. As for the rest, the woman leaned against the sofa and closed her eyes to rest. You don't have to worry too much. So, I don't have to go to Yuncheng personally for the time being. Is that Miss Qin really worth your treatment? You spent so much effort and even found Hong Chongzhen for her to be the teacher of the Chung family's heir. He had never understood why Miss chose Qin Yojiao and not the newcomer Bei Yunj since she was using her. I found one of the top teachers in the country for her to take care of Qing Zihuai. It's not entirely because of her. The woman smirked. Someone is helping the Qin Corporation in our nation's computing institute. Since that's the case, that person has to be taught a lesson. Hearing this, the butler immediately knew who she was talking about. During this period of time, with Miss adding fuel to the fire behind the scenes, the more heated the industry was, the more difficult that person's path would be. The butler could not help but sigh. With Mrs. status and appearance, why did she have to be entangled with such a dangerous man? After school, Bei Yunj had just walked out of the school gate when she saw a Lincoln limousine parked at the entrance. Before she could approach, the car door opened. Good. Hearing a familiar voice, Bei Yunj immediately looked up. She did not expect it to be Qin Luyan. You're here to fetch me? Bei Yunj glanced around and did not see any other cars. Yes, the old man is having a banquet today, so he asked me to pick you up. Seeing that she was looking around just now, Qin Luyan could not help but chuckle. Are you waiting for someone else? No. After Bei Yunj, she's Qin Yojiao, who happened to walk out from behind, saw Qin Luyan's figure. Before she could go forward excitedly, she saw Bei Yunj get into the car and the car immediately disappeared without a trace. Instantly, Qin Yojiao's expression changed as she subconsciously clenched her fists. The girl beside him couldn't help but ask enviously when she saw this scene. Who is that person? Qin Yojiao forced a smile. He's my older brother. Big brother? Isn't he too handsome? He's not inferior to your second brother, Qin Yu. I'm so envious of you, Jiao Jiao. At this point, the girl asked without thinking, Hey, did your brother come over just to fetch Bei Yunj? Chapter 448. The smile on Qin Yojiao's face froze even more, exuding an unconcealable coldness. At this moment, the girl regained her senses and instantly panicked. Jiao Jiao, I didn't mean to mock you on purpose. It's okay, Qin Yojiao said with a smile. Seeing that Qin Yojiao was really not angry, the girl heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Jiao Jiao is kind and tolerant. Oh right, Jiao Jiao, This is a gift I specially prepared for you. The girl regained her senses and immediately handed a gift box to Qin Yojiao. Did you really prepare it for me? Thank you, Ning Ning. Qin Yojiao looked very happy and immediately took the gift. You're welcome. Yojiao, you're my best friend. I bought this when I went to B City last time. It's specially for you. Okay, my dad is here to pick me up. I'll get going first. Bye. Qin Yojiao watched the girl leave with a smile on her face. Then, she threw the beautifully wrapped gift box into the rubbish bin. Her expression was cold and sarcastic. After the car stopped, Bei Yunj glanced at the people around and asked, "Didn't you say that we're going to a banquet? I asked you to wear your school uniform to a banquet?" Qin Lian glanced at his watch and then glanced at Bei Yunj. He could not help but chuckle. Let's go. Bei Yunj immediately regained her senses and got out of the car, following Qin Lian. Choosing a gown? Bei Yunj walked beside Qin Lian. A bright and beautiful girl in a school uniform and a refined and elegant man in a suit were enough to attract all the attention around them. The two of them who are filming. The girls around them could not help discussing excitedly. What kind of idol drama was this? Wasn't the quality of the male and female leads too high? Wipe your saliva. Do you see the 4 bodyguards behind them? They're really rich. The girl beside her pulled the infatuated girl and said in a low voice. At this moment, only then did others notice that there were 4 bodyguards following behind the two of them. Until Qin Lian brought Bei Yunj into a design center. President Qin, why are you here? Soon, a fashionably dressed man came forward. Although his tone was strange, his manners were still polite. He did not dare to get close to Qin Lian. My biological sister is going to attend the banquet later. Help her prepare. I guarantee that there won't be a problem. As long as I'm here, even if your sister looks. The fashionable man smiled and turned his head to look at Bei Yunj. But when he saw Bei Yunj's face clearly, he stopped talking. This is your younger sister? The fashionable man widened his eyes as if he had discovered the location of a hidden treasure. He kept looking at Bei Yunj with a fiery gaze. This made Bei Yunj subconsciously move behind Qin Lian. This small action successfully pleased Qin Lian. Don't you plan to let the young miss make a name for herself? With this face, it would be a waste if she didn't make a name for herself, right? When Qin Lian heard this, his dark eyes swept over him unhurriedly. His low voice was cold. Can't I afford to raise her? You can afford to raise her. The fashionable man instantly knew that the rumors that President Qin doted on his sister were true. This was too surprising. However, no one could bear to scold his sister with such looks. Then, why don't you hand her over to me now? I guarantee that today's styling will be worthy of her looks. P.S. There are still 6 chapters, but the train of thought is very stuck and the update time is uncertain. Sleep early, good night. Chapter 449. With that said, the fashionable man chuckled. I've always heard that President Qin dotes on his sister, but I've only seen it today. All right, President Qin, don't you have a sister? After saying too much, the fashionable man realized that he had said something wrong and immediately shut his mouth. He looked up and indeed, he felt Qin Lian's gaze turn cold. So, he turned sideways and looked at Bei Yunj. He reached out to tidy Bei Yunj's long hair and said carelessly, Go. If you think his design is not bad, I'll buy this styling center for you and only design for you in the future. The fashionable man was speechless. There was no need for that, President Qin. In the fashion industry, who didn't want to be the best? If he only designed for one person, it was obvious that he was cutting off his future. I don't attend banquets that often. With that said, Bei Yunj followed the fashionable man in. In the room, the fashionable man heaved a sigh of relief and realized belatedly that this eldest young lady of the Qin family seemed to be even colder than President Qin. Even the conversation just now seemed to be President Qin trying to please this eldest young lady of the Qin family. Miss Qin, my surname is Pei. Bei Yunj said. I'm sorry, Miss Pei. At this moment, the fashionable man was alone with Bei Yunj, but he inexplicably felt that the atmosphere was even more tense than before. She was indeed President Qin's biological sister. They were practically carved from the same bones. "I wonder, what kind of style do you like?" the fashionable man asked. "Anything. Don't exaggerate." "Okay, I understand." The fashionable man heaved a sigh of relief. Next, he would be more at ease when it came to matters in the professional field. On the first floor. 2 hours later. Platinum Gold Royal Hotel. "Manran, you're here too." Old Master Bo still has some face. Seeing Yu Manran, who was wearing a burgundy mermaid dress, walk over, the socialites in groups of 3 to 5 immediately went over to chat with her. "Mrs. Bo invited me so kindly. I had to come." Seeing that they were all partners of the Yu family, Yu Manran forced himself to chat. "Of course. After all, Mrs. Bo likes you so much." The woman in the pink dress changed the topic. "Manran, do you know that Bo Jinxiao is back?" As soon as he finished speaking, Yu Manran, who had just picked up his wine glass, paused. "Isn't she studying at Country R's Royal Academy of Music? They said that once you have enough credits, you can graduate in advance. In our industry, if Jin Xiao hadn't left back then, Qin Youjiao wouldn't have stood out for so long." "That's right, but it's all good now. Qin Youjiao is just a fake." Another socialite immediately agreed. After all, when Qin Youjiao was still the young lady of the Qin family, she was so talented that other socialites could not even raise their heads. This had already caused many people to be dissatisfied. A short while later, someone could not help but ask, "Do you guys think Jin Xiao will be there today?" Of course. She's a distant relative of the Bo family and is so doted on. It's old Master Bo's birthday today. How can she not be present? Hearing this, Yu Manran could no longer hold back. He put down his wine glass and walked towards the door. "No way." A woman wearing a light green lace fishtail gown with tassels adorned on it walked towards him. "Manran? Long time no see." Yu Manran froze the moment he heard this familiar voice. The moment he looked up, he saw that smiling and beautiful face. Chapter 450. I'm fine. Yu Manran clenched his fists, but his expression was calm. "That's good." Bo Jinxiao said with a smile, "Manran, I feel that you've become even prettier after not seeing you for 2 to 3 years." Yu Manran was expressionless and just looked at her quietly. Just as expected. In the next moment, Bo Jinxiao smiled gently and generously. "But it's good that you don't hate me." "Hate you for what?" Yu Manran asked in return, making Bo Jinxiao stunned for a moment before she laughed softly. "Manran, you're still as straightforward and cute as before." Bo Jinxiao approached her and said gently, "I know. That time I slept." "Bo Jinxiao, do you like to disgust people so much?" Yu Manran's tone was cold as he interrupted Bo Jinxiao. "Do you hate to hear it?" "Manran, I just want to—" Before Bo Jinxiao could finish, a sudden voice interrupted her again. "Manran." Hearing the familiar voice, Yu Manran relaxed inexplicably and turned to look at Bei Yunj. "You're here too." Yu Manran's guarded and cold expression completely disappeared. Seeing this, Bo Jinxiao could not help but turn around, wanting to see the person who had spoken. But the moment she looked up, Bo Jinxiao froze. The girl in front of her was very young. She was wearing a simple light blue dress that was embellished with large flowers embroidered with gauze and blue floating gold. Her waist and V-neck were perfect, showing the feelings and charm of a young girl. Her black hair was loose and fell on her shoulders. Her bright and moving face was even more dazzling. In just a moment, a huge sense of danger rose in Bo Jinxiao. Pei Yunj grabbed Yu Manran's hand and walked in, not even looking at Bo Jinxiao from the corner of her eye. Seeing this, Bo Jinxiao heaved a sigh of relief and could not help laughing. It turned out that she was just a little girl with an unstable temperament. For Yu Manran, she left coldly without even looking at her. Did you see me talking to that person?" Yu Manran asked nervously. "Yes." "Then you're leaving just like that?" Bei Yunj glanced at her. "Don't you hate her?" "Is it that obvious?" When Bei Yunj came in, she saw that Yu Manran's entire face was filled with hostility. He looked like a little girl who had been robbed of her candy, but the other party was smiling calmly. It was obvious that she was very good at dealing with Yu Manran. "Look in the mirror," Bei Yunj said calmly. Yu Manran, very good, very straightforward. As expected of Master Pei. She's just a mistress. Why would I bother with her? At this point, Yu Manran suddenly remembered something. He pulled Bei Yunj and said, "Look after your brother Shidu. When this woman was in high school, she confessed to your boyfriend. Although she was rejected, this woman might not have given up." "Isn't she with your ex-boyfriend?" Bei Yunj asked. Yu Manran was stunned. "How did you know? Didn't you say that woman was a mistress?" Bei Yunj said without thinking. Smart people were really annoying sometimes. "Yes, but she took a step back." Yu Manran laughed. "How can I not know Bo Jinxiao? She thinks that she's the #1 in the world and the center of the universe. If she knew that there was something going on between you and Master Du, she would definitely not sit still." Chapter 451. Although Hoshidu had been acting a little strange recently. But he was just teasing a child. This man probably never realized that she was a mature woman of the opposite sex. Come on, if it wasn't for that, would Master Du have chased her all the way to the bar? Yu Manran rolled his eyes. Bei Yunj said, "Have you ever seen someone supervise a girl he likes to do college entrance examination mock questions in his office every day?" Yu Manran was speechless. Wasn't Master Du playing too much? Other people played all kinds of passionate games in the domineering CEO's office, but he supervised the little girl to do her homework every day? Yu Manran still wanted to struggle. Perhaps he just feels that dating and studying are not two different things. Bei Yunj sneered. "Alright, what he lacks is not a girlfriend, but an heir." Until today, Bei Yunj still remembered how Hoshidu had let her go to the Ho Corporation to manage the company without any psychological burden. It was as if she was already his biological sister. If this man could be moved by the mortal world, the iron tree would bloom. At this moment, Yu Manran could only shut up after hearing this. This kind of thing would only make things worse. It was better for her not to cause trouble for Master Du on the second floor. "Old Qin, you found your biological granddaughter. Her illness is almost healed. How wonderful." The four old men were chatting at the mahjong table. "Don't talk about this anymore." When old Master Qin mentioned it, he could not help but take a deep breath. Back then, Mr. and Mrs. Qin had pretended to obey him and said that they wanted to tell everyone that Go was their biological daughter. But in the end, it had been 2 years, and they had not mentioned Go at all, causing everyone to mistakenly think that Go was an illegitimate daughter. If Lu Yen had not come to the hospital to visit him and tell him the truth, he would have been kept in the dark. "What's wrong?" Old Master Luo said sarcastically. "The 3 grandsons in the family are all promising. Aren't you happy? Is your granddaughter too lousy?" "Your granddaughter is the lousy one." Old Master Qin immediately retorted. Old Master Luo was stunned for a moment. Then he sneered. "What's wrong? Where's your granddaughter? You won't even let her say it?" Old Master Qin rolled his eyes and couldn't be bothered with him. Old Master Luo snorted. "My granddaughter just got into Herman University's finance department. In the future, he can even enter the company to help out at home." After saying this, everyone present could tell that Old Master Luo was showing off. Old Master Wu laughed and said, "Isn't it all because of old Bo's good fortune? Isn't Jin Xiao a famous talent in our circle?" Old Master Luo also started to flatter. Yes, Jin Xiao is really good in every way." Who knew? Old Master Bo did not even raise his head. "She's not my biological granddaughter." Bo Jinxiao was a distant relative and did not have much to do with the Bo family. However, because Bo Jinxiao had always been outstanding since she was young, the Bo family valued her very much. However, this Bo family did not include Old Master Bo. Old Master Bo's personality had always been perverse and he did not like delicate little girls. However, when the others heard Old Master Bo's words, they felt a little awkward. Even if she's not your biological granddaughter, she's still a junior. Old Master Qin was the only one among the three who dared to say this about Old Master Bo. After all, ever since Old Master Bo was young, the Bo family had been like the sun in the sky. They were the people that others wanted to please. It's my treat today. Old Qin, stop talking, Old Master Bo said unhappily. Old Master Qin was speechless. This damned old man was really demanding. Chapter 452. All right, let's play another round and go down to see them. Old Master Bo said. Then let's play another round. In the hall downstairs. Oh my, look. Bo Jinxiao is really the center of attention the moment she comes back. The surrounding socialites' gazes drifted over from time to time to Bo Jinxiao, who was chatting with the young masters of the various corporations. In a corner not far away, Bei Yunj was eating snacks and put some on Yu Manren's plate from time to time. Suddenly, Master Pei, you're here too. Bei Yunj turned around and saw Chu Zhixing and Lu Yuanxi. He was wearing a suit and looked handsome and dignified. Especially Chu Zhixing. After a month or two, he had lost a lot of weight. His black eyes were sparkling and his facial features were deep, attracting the attention of many young women. Are you here to steal the cake? Where are you? Lu Yuanxi casually plucked the cherry from Bei Yunj's cake and threw it into his mouth. Bei Yunj stopped and looked at him expressionlessly. Oh, there's more. Yu Manren hurriedly stuffed the cherry on his cake into Bei Yunj's mouth. Bei Yunj glanced at Yu Manren and asked Chu Zhixing lazily, Xiao Chu, why are you here? I came with my brother. With that said, Chu Zhixing could not help but look at Yu Manren. This also made Bei Yunj look at Yu Manren unconsciously. Seeing that Yu Manren was pretending not to know Chu Zhixing, she did not ask further. Master Pei, did you see that? That person in the green dress over there is Brother Chu's sweetheart. Lu Yuanxi, what nonsense are you talking about? Chu Zhixing elbowed Lu Yuanxi heavily. Lu Yuanxi laughed and held his abdomen. You're still denying it? When I bumped into you at the door, I saw you staring at her. By the way, how many years are you younger than her? 4. Chu Zhixing could not help but look at Bo Jinxiao again. For? Lu Yuanxi raised his eyebrows and happened to glance at Bei Yunj from the corner of his eye. Master Pei, do you think Brother Chu can do it? Bei Yunj glanced at Chu Zhixing and thought for a while. Xiao Chu, I suggest you try someone else. Why change? That big sister looks very gentle and generous. She's completely different from a girl with a bad temper like you. Lu Yuanxi laughed and teased, What are you doing, Master Pei? Are you jealous that she's feminine? Is it sour? Bei Yunj chuckled. What are you laughing at? Lu Yuanxi asked. Little Lu, there are some things that you can't understand. Bei Yunj sighed softly and smirked. She raised an eyebrow and smiled lazily. My face doesn't allow me to stir up trouble. Lu Yuanxi, Chu Zhixing. He had really underestimated the thickness of her skin. However, looking at this face, he really couldn't say anything against his heart. Yu Manren, who was beside him, also suppressed his laughter. He had long known that Gur had a vicious tongue, but he rarely saw her like this. It was inexplicably funny and down-to-earth. Suddenly, Zhixing. Not far away, Bo Jinxiao looked at Chu Zhixing in surprise. You seem to have lost a lot of weight. Hearing this, Chu Zhixing became nervous and clenched his fists unconsciously. You're getting more and more handsome. Sister Qiao can't recognize you anymore. Bo Jinxiao held Chu Zhixing's arm intimately, making the men around them feel jealous. Chapter 453. You're so rude. You're not even calling me sister. Bo Jinxiao thought for a moment and said with a smile, Then let's play a duet. How about that? Chu Zhixing only pursed his lips on the surface, a faint smile on his lips, but he could not help but feel happy. Not far away. Lu Yuanxi shook his head. You've been making things difficult for us for so long. So you're using it to chase after your goddess. One had to know that he and Bei Yunj had been practicing the piano with Chu Zhixing recently. If you're unhappy, are you going to play a duet with Little Chu later? Bei Yunj asked in return. Hearing this, Lu Yuanxi had goosebumps all over his body. He looked at her expressionlessly. Bei Yunj ignored Lu Yuanxi and asked Yu Manran, "Do you know if there's any place here where we can get some fresh air?" Yu Manran was puzzled. "You don't know about Platinum Gold Royal Hotel?" It's my first time here." "No way? This is the Hua Corporation's property and Master Du has never brought you here before." Yu Manran was secretly surprised. "Then," she said secretly, "there's a pool behind. There's also a theme restaurant and a large garden. Where do you want to go?" "The garden," Bei Yunj said. "Okay, then let's go out secretly later." Yu Manran was already out of breath, especially when Bo Jinxiao was still around. After Chu Zhixing and Bo Jinxiao's duet ended, Bo Jinxiao played the second song by the side, causing countless people to exclaim in admiration. "Look, Brother Chu's eyes are glued to Bo Jinxiao." Lu Yuanxi smiled carelessly. But to be honest, Bo Jinxiao's piano skills are not worse than Qin Youjiao's. Qin Youjiao's piano skills were exquisite. However, Bo Jinxiao had an additional charm that made people linger. "Master Pei, are you going to learn how to play the piano next time?" Lu Yuanxi asked. Hearing this, Yu Manran immediately laughed without thinking. "Who would dare to teach you? How about we let Brother Chu beg his goddess to let Bo Jinxiao teach Master Pei? This way we can create an opportunity for Brother Chu." "Not interested," Bei Yunj said lazily. With that said, Lu Yuanxi couldn't say anything more. Not long after, the old family heads upstairs came down. "When I walked to the corridor, I heard a very good piano sound. I guess that it was you, Yin Xiao," Old Master Luo said with a smile. "Yeah, other than Qin." Just as Old Master Wu was about to mention someone, he happened to catch a glimpse of Old Master Qin at the side and immediately changed his mind. "Other than Qin Xiao, who else can be so powerful?" "Grandpa Wu, you're teasing me." Bo Jinxiao immediately stood up and poured a cup of tea for Old Master Bo. "Grandpa, how have you been recently?" "Pretty good." Old Master Bo nodded, not giving Bo Jinxiao a way out in public. He praised, "You're playing better and better." Bo Jinxiao smiled as well. In school, there are many powerful seniors with excellent piano skills. I still have to learn more. It's just that I can't seem to find a partner in the country. Hearing Bo Jinxiao's words, the other socialites fell silent. Who would want to be Bo Jinxiao's partner? Wasn't it obvious that she had to be a supporting character for Bo Jinxiao and accompany her? Hearing this, Old Master Bo was about to speak when he heard Mrs. Li laugh from not far away. "I remember that Miss Qin plays the piano very well." With that said, the atmosphere on the field became cold and heavy. Wasn't she talking about Qin Youjiao? But who didn't know that Qin Youjiao was no longer the young lady of the Qin family? Chapter 454. Bo Jinxiao stopped what she was doing and picked up the juice glass as well. She smiled and said, "Miss Qin is amazing, but I don't think I'll have the chance to see Miss Qin again." Hearing this, Mrs. Li froze. Then he looked at Bei Yunj, who was beside him. "Isn't this Miss Qin standing here perfectly fine?" With that said, even Old Master Qin only realized now that the person Mrs. Li was talking about was Bei Yunj. After Lu Yuanxi regained his senses, he looked at Bei Yunj. "You know how to play the piano?" "A little. Why didn't you say so earlier?" Lu Yuanxi took a deep breath and smiled. Bei Yunj glanced at him calmly. "Did you ask?" Lu Yuanxi was speechless. "Yes, very Bei Yunj." At this moment, everyone's eyes landed on Bei Yunj. Bo Jinxiao's smile froze. After thinking for a while, she immediately knew Bei Yunj's identity. So it was the new young lady of the Qin family. "Miss, are you good at playing the piano?" Bo Jinxiao asked. "Not bad." After Bei Yunj finished speaking, Lu Yuanxi could not help but look at Bei Yunj. He felt that there was something wrong with this answer. However, the way Yu Manran looked at Bei Yunj was much more realistic. "Was this okay? Then tell me who is very good." Hearing this, Bo Jinxiao only smiled. "I see." It's normal for girls to retain a sense of novelty and passion for things like the piano. I remember that Manran knows how to play the piano too. Why don't Manran teach Miss Chin more when you're free? Seeing Bo Jinxiao's perfect appearance, Yu Manran found it ridiculous. Yu Manran's tone was cold. Miss Bo, you're so nosy. No, the eldest miss of the Chin family. Mrs. Li had seen Bei Yunj play the piano in the Lu family. Before she could explain, Bei Yunj suddenly spoke. 90 minutes later, Grandpa, I want to go out for a walk. Bei Yunj looked at old Master Chin. She didn't want to stay in there forever. Go play. I'll get your big brother and the others to look for you later. All right. After Bei Yunj finished speaking, she pulled Yu Manran out of the room. Old Chin, your granddaughter is really beautiful. Old Master Wu couldn't help but praise. Of course. Don't you know whose genes it is? Old Master Chin snorted. Lu Yuanxi, she finally knew why Bei Yunj was so confident. It runs in the family. Suddenly, in the living room, a pleasant piano sound sounded and everyone looked at Bo Jinxiao, who was still playing the piano. Only Chu Zhixing felt that this song seemed a little familiar. He should have heard it somewhere before. Furthermore, it seemed like it was much better than Xiao Qiao's. Until the song ended. Old Master Bo, who did not speak much, suddenly asked, the song you played was Yun Si Fall. Bo Jinxiao said with a smile, I heard that Grandpa likes Yun a lot, so I specially went to learn this song. However, I was in a hurry and her song was a little difficult, so I only learned one song. Old Master Bo nodded. Others might not have noticed, but Old Master Bo had noticed that Bo Jinxiao had made a few mistakes. It was not Bo Jinxiao's fault. Si Fall was the most difficult song. I think I heard the eldest miss of the Qin family play this song in the Lu family before. Mrs. Li muttered to herself again. Besides, it was much better than Bo Jinxiao's. Chapter 455. Hearing this, the smile on Bo Jinxiao's face froze. She knows how to play too? Miss Pei plays very well. Mrs. Li clicked her tongue. Why wasn't she her daughter? She was good-looking and good at playing the piano. She was even so humble as to say that she played the piano well. It seems like Miss Pei was being humble just now. Bo Jinxiao's eyes darkened and she turned to smile at Chu Zhixing. Zhixing, your friend is very good. Chu Zhixing nodded. She's the person I admire the most. She knows everything. Lu Yuanxi, who was not far away, was speechless. It was over. Chu Zhixing was really a huge fan of Bei Yunj. Didn't he see that Bo Jinxiao's smile was very forced? At this moment, another girl who studied music said, speaking of which, I wonder how Manran's relationship with Yun is. I heard that Yun is her personal arranger. Hearing this, Old Master Bo realized that he had forgotten something important. Where's Man? Old Master Bo stood up suddenly. This action made the smile on Bo Jinxiao's face freeze. She had never thought that Yu Manran would one day make Old Master Bo so concerned about why. In the garden. On the way, Yu Manran poked at her ice cream and ate it, not having the self-awareness of a female celebrity at all. Did you see that old man in a white t-shirt and casual pants just now? He's the old master of the Bo Corporation. Do you remember him? Bei Yunj suddenly remembered. That old man from the International Musicians Association's selection? She remembered that in the selection video, the old man was wearing a tuxedo and a top hat, his hair combed neatly. He did not look like the casual old master at all. Bei Yunj raised an eyebrow. You know him? The Bo family and our Yu family are family friends. I have a good relationship with Mrs. Bo. So when they heard that you're my arranger some time ago, they thought of a way to hope that you can give a spot to old Master Bo. After listening to Yu Manran's explanation, Bei Yunj also responded, I see. Do you think old Master Bo can pass? Yu Manran asked carefully. I don't know. These words made Yu Manran sigh uncontrollably. But the next moment he heard Bei Yunj say, but I quite like his music score. Let the Bo family find a professional teacher. That way, we will have more confidence in the selection. Why don't you teach me? Yu Manran probed. As expected, Bei Yunj looked up with a half-smile. Is it fair to the other contestants if I teach him? Hearing this, Yu Manran stopped begging. She could tell that Bei Yunj would not touch a matter of principle. When the banquet was about to end, Yu Hanran called and asked Yu Manran to prepare to go back with him. At this moment, Bei Yunj and Yu Manran were also preparing to leave. But they did not expect to bump into Bo Jinxiao. It was as if she was looking for someone on purpose. Miss Pei, are you going back? Bo Jinxiao asked with a smile. Bei Yunj's eyes curved and her red lips curled up lazily. But she still gave off a distant feeling. Then, do I have a chance to be friends with Miss Pei? If possible, would Miss Pei be willing to give me your contact number? Before Bo Jinxiao could finish, Bei Yunj interrupted her calmly. Miss Bo, you're too polite. Although she said this, it was obvious that she did not intend to be friends with Bo Jinxiao. Chapter 456. It was obvious that it was Bo Jinxiao's first time being rejected and she felt a little uncomfortable, but she pretended to be generous and glanced at Yu Manran beside her. Is it because of Manran? Turning around, Bo Jinxiao said to Bei Yunj, but I have a good relationship with Zhixing, I don't lack friends. Bei Yunj smiled. No matter how good she was at tolerating it, Bo Jinxiao's smile disappeared completely in the face of Bei Yunj's attitude. From the corner of her eye, she happened to see the bracelet on Bei Yunj's wrist and a trace of surprise flashed past her eyes. Perhaps because she had been staring for too long, the young lady who came with Bo Jinxiao also noticed that Bei Yunj and Bo Jinxiao were wearing the same bracelet. Why is this bracelet the same as yours, Jinxiao? The young lady said with a smile. It should be a coincidence. The moment Bo Jinxiao finished speaking, the young lady's tone suddenly became sharp and strange. Jinxiao, there are many people in our industry who imitate your outfits. What's so strange about that? It's just that this bracelet is a love gift from young Master Chu and someone actually has the cheek to copy it. Are you done? Miss Bo, did you change your profession and become an artiste? You've been overseas for 2 to 3 years and there are still people imitating your outfits? Yu Manran immediately laughed, his tone cold. You? The girl's face turned livid, but she did not dare to say anything overboard in front of Yu Manran. After all, now that the Yu family was working with the Hua family, their status in Yuncheng was unshakable. Even the Bo family had to give them some face. So, the girl changed the topic and could only vent her anger on Bei Yunj. Miss Pei is really amazing. She hasn't been back to the Qin family for long, right? She can already seduce Miss Yu? It seems like Miss Pei really came prepared. Sigh, Qin Youjiao's status is still too low. Why? Do you need to perform something because you're so skilled? Pei Yunj's eyes curved as she looked at her with a smile that did not reach her eyes. Hearing this, the girl trembled with anger. You, let's go, man. Bei Yunj was about to leave when she was stopped by the girl. Stop. You're wearing the same bracelet as her? How can you be so nonchalant? The temperature in Bei Yunj's eyes gradually dropped. However, when she looked up, she saw Qin Luyan standing behind Bo Jinxiao and Bo Jinxiao. Under the thin gold-rimmed glasses, his refined and noble eyes seemed to emit a trace of coldness. His dark eyes were frightening. Good. As soon as he finished speaking, the girl, who had been arrogant just a moment ago, instantly felt a chill down her spine. This year, the Qin Corporation had expanded too quickly. People in the industry had no choice but to pay attention to this young and promising President Qin. Bo Jinxiao turned around and saw the refined and handsome man walking toward Bei Yunj. Then, a trace of coldness flashed past his dark eyes hidden under his thin glasses. His long, bony fingers gently circled Bei Yunj's wrist. After undoing the bracelet, he threw it into the trash can. What Arger has can only be unique. With that said, Qin Luyan took off his wristwatch and put it on Bei Yunj's wrist. Hearing this, he scoffed. So the eldest young master of the Chu family is so perfunctory when it comes to love gifts. He's not even willing to find a custom-made one. Instantly, Bo Jinxiao's face paled and she looked at the man with a dangerous aura in front of her instinctively. However, at this moment, Qin Luyan only glanced at Bei Yunji's dress. Then, he knelt on one knee and tidied her dress seriously. Chapter 457. It was obvious. Qin Luyan doted on Bei Yunji to the bone. Seeing this, Yu Manren's eyes were filled with envy. Look, this was someone else's brother. What about her brother? Suddenly, Bo Jinxiao chuckled. President Qin must have misunderstood something. Then what does Miss Bo think I misunderstood? Qin Luyan did not look up and there was no emotion in his eyes. However, Bo Jinxiao could not say a word. Do you need someone to remind you how you got together with Chu Ziyuan? Qin Luyan's eyes were refined and arrogant, but there was no gentleness. It was a frightening feeling that made people panic. Instantly, Bo Jinxiao's legs turned weak instinctively and she took a step back. She never thought that Qin Luyan would target her because of such a small matter. My guru doesn't like to follow the rules, but Miss Bo, you have to follow the rules. Qin Luyan's eyes were as dark as ink, filled with a deep and faint light, as if he could see through people's hearts. He smirked slightly. After all, what she has is inherent. But Miss Bo isn't. With that said, Bo Jinxiao's face paled and her pupils constricted. What did Qin Luyan know? At first, she thought that Qin Luyan had probably heard some rumors about her in the industry. But now, it seemed like Qin Luyan knew something he shouldn't know. Okay, I'll apologize to Miss Bo first. Excuse me. With that said, Qin Luyan left with Bei Yunji. Yu Manren, who was beside her, was slightly excited. F***ck, Yunji, isn't your older brother too handsome? Do you lack a sister-in-law? What do you think of me? Bei Yunji. I don't know. She only knew that in her previous life, there was a woman who loved Qin Luyan but could not get him, so she destroyed the entire Qin family. At this thought, Bei Yunji glanced at her. Don't do anything rash. Tisk, I couldn't tell that our girl is a brother complex. After Yu Manren was rejected, he was not sad at all and was still laughing foolishly. Bei Yunji was speechless. At this moment, Bo Jinxiao was still standing on the spot. The girl next to her hurriedly comforted her. Jinxiao, President Qin dotes on his new sister very much, so I don't think he is targeting you on purpose. Who knew? Bo Jinxiao looked at Bei Yunji's departing figure and only smiled. Bei Yunji, what an interesting little girl. Yu Manren was about to go home, but he was brought back to the living room by the Bo family's butler. She realized that all 4 members of the Bo family were there. Auntie Bo, you are? Yu Manren felt an inexplicable sense of fear. Man, have you seen White? Old Master Bo could not hold it in any longer. He stood up and held Yu Manren's hand as he asked. She was not the only one who had seen it. Everyone present had seen it. When Old Master Bo heard this, his heart ached. That's great. He actually managed to see Yun in person. But on the surface, Old Master Bo still patted Yu Manren's hand reservedly. Not bad, good boy. Yu Manren was speechless. What's with this high praise? Yu Manren suddenly felt flattered. One had to know that Old Master Bo rarely praised anyone. I wonder if I'll have the chance to see Wayne, Old Master Bo muttered to himself. Actually, I think the Bo family and the Hua family have a good relationship. Yu Manren hinted crazily without batting an eyelid. If you're free, why don't you go and see Master Du? No, that fellow is not easy to get along with. I don't like him. Hearing this, Old Master Bo looked unhappy and let go of his hand instinctively, wanting to sit back on the sofa. However, Yu Manren suddenly grabbed him and insisted, no, you like him. Chapter 458. Old Master Bo was stunned when he heard this. He did not know what this little girl meant. However, a dark look flashed past Bo Xiuqin's eyes and he said, if there's a chance, I'll bring grandfather to visit. No, why are we visiting the Hua family? Old Master Bo was very resistant. Ever since he met that junior from the Hua family more than 10 years ago, he never wanted to have anything to do with him again. Grandfather, Shidu was still young back then. Didn't he just say a few words of truth? Why hold a grudge? Bo Xiuqun said leisurely. Old Master Bo was speechless. Did he just say a few words of truth? Initially, he had helped old Hua teach the child his homework out of goodwill. In the end, this child was so young. Were the questions humans could do? As a student of the mathematics department at Neely University and the oldest generation of intellectuals who had returned from overseas, he was discriminated against by a child. This was simply unbearable to look back on. After Yuman Ran left, Bo Xiuqun still insisted on bringing Old Master Bo to visit the Hua family. Later on, the old master was so angry that he hugged his fishing rod and bucket for a few days and refused to go downstairs. The next day, the moment Bei Yunj returned home, she saw Huashidu walking back with Old Master Qin. It seemed that Huashidu's relationship with Old Master Qin had improved after staying in the Qin family's old residence for the past 2 days. However, Bei Yunj greeted him and still went upstairs first. What has Ge been busy with recently? Old Master Qin found it strange and turned to look at Huashidu. Shidu, could it be that some brat has eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts and has designs on my precious Ge? Huashidu glanced at Bei Yunj's back view and laughed again. No, Shidu, you don't know how bad the kids are nowadays. Old Master Qin thought of the negative news about high school students falling in love and was extremely nervous. He grabbed Huashidu's hand again. Shidu, after grandfather's birthday banquet ends in a few days, Ge will return to your place. You have to pay more attention to Ge. Don't let Ge be abducted by bad boys. The man licked his itchy teeth casually and chuckled in a low voice. His posture was lazy and casual. Grandpa, don't worry. With me around, this won't happen. Upstairs. As soon as Bei Yunj returned to her bedroom, she found that the strong pink color had disappeared and was replaced by a simple wooden design. It also made Bei Yunj feel inexplicably relieved. Very soon, Bei Yunj answered Du Zhao's call. Ge, I found it. Your score was used by a rather young girl in this selection competition. Her name is Qin Yojiao. Bei Yunj had just sat down to turn on the computer when she heard Old Master Qin's words. Her hand that was holding the mouse also paused. She said lazily, "It's her." Du Xiao did not expect that the person who stole Bei Yunj's score would be that talented girl. She wants to compete with my score? Bei Yunj chuckled as her eyes fell on the computer screen. Du Xiao said, I'm not sure yet, but she's quite special. She knew that the person in charge this time was Wyan and still dared to steal Yun's score. Wasn't he a little too bold? Elder Du, check again and see who else is involved in this matter. Bei Yunj said slowly. You mean, someone is helping her? Du Xiao froze. If I'm not wrong, it should be someone from our nation. Chapter 459. From the invitation to Neely's 18th birthday ball, she knew that this matter had become interesting. That person must have appeared. If that's the case, then it's difficult. The forces in our nation are much more complicated. Du Xiao furrowed his eyebrows unconsciously. How did Qin Yojiao know someone from our nation? It doesn't matter if we can find out or not. Du Xiao replied, There's one more thing. What? You should at least go and take a look at the last round of the International Musicians Association selection. Du Xiao sighed and said faintly, Aren't we going to watch the video? Du Xiao's eyelid twitched. In the last round, the other 2 people in charge of assisting you will also go to Yuncheng. When the time comes, if you don't want to see anyone, you can speak behind the scenes, okay? Bei Yunj said. Since he had already said so much, Lin Mingya had no choice but to accept. Time passed. In the piano room, Cheng Zihuai turned around in surprise. Jiao Jiao, is this your new song? For the past 2 days, Qin Yojiao had been practicing this score almost all the time except for class. Qin Yojiao looked down and could not see her gaze clearly. She only heard her laugh. I asked the teacher to help me change it. Is the song all right? This song is very nice. Cheng Zihuai was not flattering her. Even though he was a layman, he could feel that Qin Yojiao's song was a qualitative leap compared to before. Teacher changed it well. Qin Yojiao said deliberately, "What's wrong? Did I not play well in the past?" "It's good. It's just that this song is too good." Ran Wenxing Zihuai came over and caressed Qin Yojiao's head, saying with a smile, "Aren't you happy that I praise your improvement?" Qin Yojiao said nothing. However, Cheng Zihuai did not notice anything else and only said, "Oh right, Jiao Jiao, I've learned a lot from Professor Hong recently. Thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, why would Professor Hong take me in as a student?" "Zihuai, you don't have to thank me. Many people have abandoned me during this period of time. Only you and my mother are on my side without hesitation. I should be the one thanking you." Hearing this, a trace of heartache flashed past Cheng Zihuai's eyes. He felt that Qin Yojiao had changed a lot. In the past, Jiao Jiao could occasionally be spoiled and willful. She would even argue with him, and he would often be so angry that he would have a cold war with her. But now, Jiao Jiao had matured a lot. "Jiao Jiao, don't worry. Even without the Qin family, you are the only person I have set my mind on." A dark look flashed across Cheng Zihuai's eyes as he comforted her. Besides, how long can the Qin family protect Bei Yunj? Many people in the circle knew that the Xiao family and the Qin family were not on good terms. And now, as the Xiao family grew stronger, the Qin family's situation became worse and worse. After regaining his senses, Cheng Zihuai asked curiously, "By the way, Jiao Jiao, how do you know Professor Hong?" The light in Qin Yojiao's eyes flickered. "I don't know him, but my friend does. Last year, didn't I take a break from school and go to Country R? It's a friend I met during that time." "I see." Cheng Zihuai was surprised. Until school was over. Bei Yunj saw Ji Qing's message and did not go home. Instead, she asked the chauffeur to leave first and went to the cafe alone. However, on the way, she saw an old man in tattered clothes sitting by the roadside, fiddling with a laptop in his hand. Bei Yunj only glanced at him and saw the old man's slightly cloudy eyes staring fixedly at her. Chapter 460. Wait a minute. Bei Yunj glanced at him and found that his clothes were ragged, but his computer was well protected. The screen was cleaner than hers. She thought about it. Bei Yunj walked up to him and placed the remaining 700 yuan in front of him. "That's all I have. I have something to do, so I'll leave first." The old man was speechless. Did she think he was a scammer? Seeing that Bei Yunj was about to leave, the old man suddenly said, "Are you leaving just like that?" However, when Bei Yunj heard this, she felt that the old man was determined to blackmail her. She laughed and lazily rested her chin on her hand. She squatted in front of him patiently. "Sir, I'm just a student. Can we understand each other?" The old man was speechless. This little girl was so pretty. Why did she speak so infuriatingly? "Are you giving me this money?" The old man took the money and looked at her strangely. "Yes." Hearing this after a long while, the old man came to a conclusion. This girl's words were infuriating, but she was a good person. Then I can't take it for free. Why don't I teach you how to use the computer? The old man thought for a while and looked at her with disdain, as if he was being merciful. "Thank you. I'm in a hurry to go home and do my homework." With that, Bei Yunj stood up and patted the creases on her school skirt with a chuckle. Very soon, under the old man's gaze, she walked into a cafe. The old man was speechless. Weren't children nowadays too good at brushing people off too? "You're so young but you're so blind. Do you know what it means to have a pie fall from the sky?" The old man was so angry that he wanted to smash the computer. He cursed for a long time. Suddenly, a pair of clean white shoes appeared in front of him. A fat cat. "Do you want cake?" The old man looked up and saw Bei Yunj handing him a packed cake and coffee. After a long while, he took the cake and coffee and muttered, "You're not bad, kid." Bei Yunj raised her eyebrows. "Not really. I just find you interesting." Usually, when she saw older wanderers, she would at most give them some money. The old man stopped unwrapping the box and asked nervously, "What do you mean?" "Your laptop is not cheap." Bei Yunj glanced at his laptop leisurely. "And you're not from country A, are you?" These words caused the old man's mind to become chaotic. This was the first time someone had asked him this question. I'm from country R, how did you find out? The old man asked. After all, he actually looked like someone from country A. Your accent sounds strange. After Bei Yunj finished speaking, she was about to stand up and leave when she heard the old man's insistence. You really don't want to learn computer science from me? I'm very powerful and Sir, I'm quite busy. Bei Yunj smiled. The old man was speechless. Was he being looked down upon by someone? Back then, so many people in country R wanted to be his student. Now, even a high school student looked down on him? Thinking of this, the old man was angry and annoyed. He put the cake box aside and closed his eyes angrily. You'll regret it. Unexpectedly, the beautiful girl in front of him said goodbye and really did not say anything. When he looked up, she was gone. At this moment, the old man almost wanted to curse. In the coffee shop. I'm so sorry for being late. Ji Qing walked over quickly and said, Thank you for helping me contact you last time. Bei Yunj paused. You're welcome. Chapter 461. Ji Qing pinched the space between his eyebrows. His handsome face looked a little tired. It was obvious that he had put in a lot of effort into this case. It's good that you found them. It'll be easy for them to return to the headquarters. Bei Yunj scooped a spoonful of cake and put it into her mouth. Ji Qing was speechless. What did she mean by it would be easy for them to return to the headquarters? Get someone to contact the Institute of Computational Technology in our nation. They have negotiated with our nation and will help to solve the problem of locating the gang's headquarters. After all, the Institute of Computational Technology was our nation's national institution. Compared to other people, our nation naturally trusted the researchers in their country. However, it was also a little difficult for them to understand why this group of immortals would suddenly come down to the mortal world to care about the country's affairs. Really? Ji Qing almost thought that he was hallucinating. Bei Yunj glanced at him and did not say a word. After a long while. However, Ji Qing's gaze on Bei Yunj gradually turned meaningful. Miss Bei. Bei Yunj looked up and saw Ji Qing's gaze. It was as if he had seen through everything. Hence, even the spoon that was digging into the cake stopped. Don't tell me you're, Ji Qing narrowed his eyes. Are you a good friend of mine? Bei Yunj put the cash under the teacup and stood up again. You can handle the aftermath of this matter properly. I'll take my leave first. With that, Bei Yunj left without looking back. Looking at Bei Yunj's back view, Ji Qing was also a little dazed. He did not expect this matter to be settled so quickly. Yun Cheng's First People's Hospital. Why are you here again? The man on the hospital bed had a low and magnetic voice. Even the smell of disinfectant in the air was mixed with an inexplicable sweet smell. The old man fanned his nose and said in disdain, Are the nurses and female doctors too diligent? There was a strong smell of perfume. It's a routine check. The man was good-looking and had deep eyebrows. However, his gaze was as calm as the Dead Sea and his thin lips were gently pursed. If one took a closer look, they would realize that the man was wearing a hospital gown. His left trouser leg was sunken and there was nothing on it. This man was handicapped. Come on, if it weren't for your face, how could the nurses be so diligent? The old man's clothes were ragged, but he was carrying an exquisite fruit basket and a bunch of roses wrapped in black paper. This also attracted the man's attention. Where did you get the money to buy a present? He chuckled. Don't talk about it. A very beautiful little girl thought I was a scammer. She gave me 700 yuan and left. Hearing this, the man also seemed to find it novel, and a low chuckle sounded softly. The old man looked at him for a while. I haven't heard you laugh like that in a long time, Shang Yan. The smile on Shang Yan's lips disappeared. Are you really not returning to country R? Those people in your family are not easy to deal with. They are probably trying to divide up your family property. The old man was silent for a moment and suddenly smiled. I suddenly don't want to give it to them anymore. Before this, he had indeed planned to let whoever wanted to take the family property. What do you mean? Shang Yan looked at him in surprise. Isn't it good to find a suitable successor? At this point, the old man thought of the little girl who didn't seem to be easy to deal with. You're really generous. Shang Yan couldn't help but smile. So, you're preparing to go back? I want to look for a successor here. At the same time, I'll get old Zhong to pull some strings. Hearing this, Shang Yan glanced at the old man. If the outside world knew that the Higgins family was looking for a successor, the situation would change. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.